You are listening to the Red Leaf Retrocast, your best location to learn, remember, and relive the past to the present. I hope you enjoyed today's retro gaming episode. I hope you go down memory lane with us, relive some nostalgia, or at the very least, enjoy listening to a bunch of guys talk about old video games. And now, on to the show.
I can't start the show. I wasn't ready for that.
Do it.
Oh, welcome to episode 44 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. I'm in my personal space with JD.
I love invading your personal space.
Space Invaders. That's how that game works. I'm Console Kev, joined also by Hello Colin.
Hello. Greetings from Canada.
Wait, we're international. That was the most charisma I had. I'm still early.
It is early. I've been waking up for the past 2 hours.
I know. And JD had 3 donuts, and it was a regretful
I had 2 donuts. The third one was regretful.
Ugh! You didn't get the bacon maple, like I said, either, which was also a big mistake.
No, but I got a nice Boston cream and a strawberry cheesecake donut, which was very strange, so I had to get it, and it was good. It was good. The strawberry donut with sprinkles was literally...
I don't think you got a normal strawberry frosting.
It was not a strawberry frosting donut. It was a mistake. That's what it was.
Colin, if you ever get the chance, bacon maple donuts, by the way. Wonderful.
Yep, heard of them.
Maple frosting, bacon bits, like a little bit of diabetes. It's actually pretty great.
But you know, the best way to start your morning? Just listen to a Game Grumps compilation.
I could, yes, actually. You know what? I miss Danny. Mostly I love Danny on that show. I know everyone's like, oh, it's not the same since JonTron, but fucking Danny, man.
Yeah,
wait,
Danny
you're
rocks.
you're living 5 years in the past.
No, I love... People are still not over it. And those people need to grow up. I said it, and I mean it.
Grow up. All right, what's on the agenda today, Kevin?
You can read. I can talk shit to you in person. This is great. I guess the first things we'll go over is what we've been playing. And Colin, since you're overseas, why don't you go first?
Overseas?
Yeah.
He's over a lake at best.
Seas!
Yeah, I haven't really been playing all that much beside the cast. I mean, I've been playing Sekiro again, on and off. The Burning Bull boss was really kicking my ass for a long time. And I felt like I was missing a key item to beat it, but I couldn't figure out what it was. So I cheated a bit, looked online. Turns out, in order to get the item I needed, you need to go back to a shopkeeper in a bit of an obscure location, which I never would have figured out, so I feel no guilt whatsoever using a guide for that.
I remember telling you specifically the shopkeepers in that game are in very cryptic places.
Yeah,
bad for
it's a
business.
pain in the ass.
It is bad for business.
Yeah. RPG logic.
Yeah.
I opened this shop in this cave. Nobody comes by. Can't figure it out.
Yeah, I've been also playing more Legend of Heroes, but holy crap, this plot is so slow moving, it's starting to get frustrating.
PSP game, right?
Say what?
PSP game, Legend of Heroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be due to me doing all the side quests, but I also feel like the character conversations are a bit long-winded, to almost Kingdom Hearts 3 levels.
Gross.
Still, gameplay's fun, and I like the characters, so I'm going to keep plowing ahead. And a quick side note, when I was going through my NES emulator, I happened upon a file called Earthbound Prototype. Since the only Earthbound mother game on the NES was Mother 1/Earthbound Beginnings, I booted it up and played through the first 10 or 15 minutes or so. And wouldn't you know it, JD, the English translation in this ROM is identical to the Wii U version that we played. Right down to the typos I poked fun of in our YouTube video. Something tells me that is not a coincidence.
Nintendo's been caught using other people's emulators on the Virtual Console before, so I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, there was I think it was like that somebody opened the source for like a Kirby game and it had like an iNES emulator running it. And people were like, oh, good. Nintendo, Mr. Anti-Emulator over here. So, Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they used that file. And that's probably why they're waiting on Mother 3, because they're probably like, people probably played it by now, guys.
Yeah, but it's a relief for me since I now know I don't have to buy a Wii U in order to play that one.
How dare you? Nintendo needs your money.
It's a shame they discontinued the Wii U already, though.
Minor details.
And the virtual console never
existed. The virtual console was never there. Do you guys have a Switch? Buy our service.
Everything on Switch.
Everything. Anything else you've been playing? Fun?
Yeah, just podcast games.
Just podcast games.
Lucky. JD, after you.
Oh, me? Let's see. I did my second attempt at Amnesia The Dark Descent, because it's regarded as one of the best horror games, or kind of at least it changed the model of what we know of as horror games. And my first time played it, I think I played like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I was just bored, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a big thing. If you don't get, at least my take is, if you don't get into a game, within the first couple hours, or at least an RPG, I guess you can extend it to 3 or 4 to get the story started and all that. But for most games with me, it's that first hour. It's got to hit home, right? And Amnesia didn't do that. I was just wandering a hall. Nothing was happening. It was hinting at things in the dark, but nothing was coming for me.
Right.
Once I got past hour 2, because I just booted up the file, I'm like, okay, I'll try again. Immediately after that second hour, a shadow starts chasing you. So you have to stay in the light. And then you go into basements and sewers and whatnot, and then there's a whole section where if you're in this flooded out area, and if you hit the water, an invisible water creature starts chasing you. And that was really on edge, right? You have to start throwing objects across the room to distract the monster, and then you can open the gate. Really cool, interesting things, and it got me thinking of all these other horror games since then that have used similar mechanics of distractions and whatnot. And then it has the we played the GameCube horror game where Eternal Darkness, where it had the sanity meter.
Yep.
Amnesia also has the whole sanity thing. If you look directly at the creatures, the main character's sanity, the screen starts going blurry and kind of wonky. It's almost like
real life.
Yeah, almost like he's kind of drunk. So that was really cool, but also kind of overly annoying, because as you're trying to peer around corners and look at where these things possibly could be, then instead of you seeing it, it just starts getting blurry all of a sudden, and
you're
like, oh,
actually see the thing.
Right. So I get what they're going for. It does kind of keep me on edge all the time. And things are constantly chasing you, and you just don't know when it's coming from. So, second try, this is a very good example of, I didn't like the game at first at all.
Right.
And now I've liked it. And there's there's a DLC for it, and a sequel called Machine for Pigs.
Amnesia Machine for Pigs, which sounds creepy, but I don't know it.
And in that one, they took out the sanity meter and replaced it with more story-ridden things.
Okay.
So, instead of having that quote-unquote immersion that they were going for, they replaced it with trying to do something different, which I really appreciate. It makes it worthwhile playing.
Right.
So I'm almost done with The Dark Descent, actually. It's not that long.
How long is it?
I want to say it's only about 4 to 7 hours, depending on how slow you move through it.
All right, that's not bad.
Like I will say this. Many horror games do this, where you get overexposed to the environment. Last of Us is a great example of that.
Disagree, but go on.
Well, for me, once I got past being afraid of the clickers all the time, and I was just kind of looking for them, I wasn't actually scared of in the game. I was just being wary.
Oh,
right.
See, I was never scared necessarily. I just thought it was a cool zombie game.
See, I had legit fear for the clickers for a good chunk of the beginning of that game, and then I just stopped being scared.
Yeah.
Amnesia, that hit way later, that moment. which I really appreciate. I don't get that in a lot of horror games. Silent Hill 2 is a good example of that. Fear never went away. I was always scared of Pyramid Head.
I'm trying to remember because I did Silent Hill 1 recently. And I'm like, I was kind of scared of like all the things flying in and like all you never saw was in the fog. So I kind of get it. Also, nurses. Fuck those things.
They're freaky.
Yeah, the whole game's weird.
They're like little backward crabs on on the ground. So Amnesia is just it was a game I didn't like, and now I do like it. Now I appreciate it. And apparently, there's a lot of fan-made DLC for it. They call them custom stories. So they've made, you can easily go to I think it's like modrom.com or something.
Is it only PC ones or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
And you just add it to the file, and you got infinite amount of DLC essentially.
People got time on their
Amnesia.
hands.
So I actually played one of them, and it's really well done. And they're on the shorter side. You know, they last anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. Right. But you download 3 of them. That's
the game never ends. So
the game never ends.
Poor protagonist is living in this eternal nightmare, thanks to you.
Well, they create new protagonists. Well, some of them have created their own protagonists to be in the world of Amnesia. So it's pretty cool. And then, so I do recommend it in the end.
I'm still waking up.
Yeah, we're all waking up. You gave me a
Ultra Sunrise
Monster, and I don't remember the last time I had an energy drink.
Well, if you die, you die.
So if my heart explodes, I'm blaming you.
Oh no, I woke up at like 5 because I heard my cat being an asshole and meow. I was like, "What do you want?" So then I had to figure that out, and then my dog had to shit, and then I tried to fall asleep again. Didn't work. So there's that. Anything else you've been playing? Oh,
yes.
Yes.
It's been a slow month for the more modern games that are coming out. You know, Days Gone turned out to be less than desirable.
I heard it was a great 10-hour game.
Yeah, right?
Not a good 20-hour game.
Team Sonic Racing is less than desirable. They took out all the fun things that the previous game had.
It's Sonic Team.
You know, why expand on the thing that made it good? No, take that out and try again. What do you expect
from guys who make Nazi propaganda games? I don't understand.
You know, we did learn that in the last cast.
All the cars in Sonic Team Racing, Volkswagens, which were developed by Nazis. Fun fact.
Is it a fun fact, though? Or just a fact?
Nah, depending on perspective.
So, I've been playing more or less a lot of the indie titles that are coming out lately. You know, pixel art type things.
You're going to transition.
Well, so on the in the last month, a game called Katana Zero came out.
So good.
And I did play a lot of it. I think I didn't, on the Modern Cast, I didn't do it justice talking about it, because the other guy hadn't played it yet. Mm-hmm. Or Jay, I could call him, but it's the Red Leaf Retrocast. Everyone knows
he doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist. He's from Australia. That's a fake land.
All their videos coming upside down anyway. The screen will shut off.
Okay. Oh, good. Don't worry, the screen will shut off. It's no problem.
Computer still runs.
Oh boy.
But Katana Zero is by Devolver Digital, so you know it's going to be off the walls in some way, right? And your main character is this samurai assassin dude, and he gets his contracts from his therapist to go murder people, and it's very kind of as you do. And the therapist injects him with something that we can only assume is like heroin or something, right? And it's kind of fourth wall breaking. It's Devolver Digital. It's really goofy. It's just like Hotline Miami, but with a sword. What'd you think, Kevin? You get to play a little. You got to play a little.
Cool, man. I like how you can go through the dialogue, and how fast you click through the dialogue makes you more of an asshole, or you can wait for the timer to go and you get different dialogue options, or you could say nothing at all, and the game will. I guess the little the cosplay thing was funny when we were in the hotel. Yeah, where you walk through and the lady's like, "Oh, why are you wearing that?" And he's like, "I'm clearly from like whatever anime he said, like Gundam X Breaker, whatever." And the lady's like,
"Part 2."
Yeah, Part 2. And she's like, "Oh, cool." And then we went through the hotel murdering everyone. And then at the end of the mission, the cop comes out and goes, "I heard a report of gunfire and you're covered in blood." And then the receptionist was like, "No, he's cosplaying from an anime." And the guy goes, "Ah, yes. Luckily, that cosplay ban just got lifted. You're lucky this time. I was like, what the fuck is this game?
It's funny.
It is funny. I like it. I didn't expect that to go. And also the receptionist. Oh, I pulled your earbud out. The receptionist definitely wanted to bang our character.
She had that lure, didn't she?
Yes.
She's like, I'll see you later, big boy.
Yeah.
So Katana Zero is super fun, real tight gameplay, and then we both had our first experience with Shakedown Hawaii last night.
This game's just fucking weird.
Don't think I've heard of that one.
It's the sequel, kind of, to Retro City Rampage.
Ah, yeah.
But
Really
way
played
better
much
of a
of that.
game. Yeah, Retro City Rampage lost me personally because it was just like, references the game. And I was like, okay, is there anything beyond this? But yeah, this is way better. It kind of stands on its own.
But Shakedown Hawaii just came out like maybe a week or so ago, and just got it last night, literally. And think of Grand Theft Auto, but the first one,
Right.
but more Super Nintendo graphics.
As it should be.
And basically, the premise is this main character is an old dude. His company's being run to the ground, so he's trying to find the new millennium ways to make money in sleazy ways, such as predatory car loans.
Ads everywhere, even if nobody's going there.
Yeah, ads everywhere, such as VR. He invests in VR, but no one actually uses it. It's just ads everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, and you just go around the city running people over with random cars. You can go through the trunk, open up the trunk, and kick someone out from behind.
Yep. It's one of those. It was a quirky little top-down GTA. I was gonna say GTA clone, but I guess it kind of is. It's not as focused on being a scumlord. It's more like, I don't know, figure out how to blow up these delivery trucks, which somehow stops all delivery packages. Only 5 trucks on the road. The whole
6.
city.
It was 6. His half dozen. Gotta get it right.
Sorry. My apologies. It was in the dialogue.
Yeah. So Shakedown Hawaii was pretty fun. What have you been playing, Kevin?
It's been a stupid busy week. I've been working stupid hours. A lot of you're working in the morning and at night, and I'm like, why? Sunrise, sunset things. So I didn't get a lot to play, but when I did get to play, I've been doing a lot of Dead Cells still, because I don't think you could beat that game. I'm just convinced.
It's impossible.
Convinced you can't beat that game.
Kenny Omega beat it twice.
Kenny Omega's Kenny Omega. What else?
That's a wrestler. That's a wrestler, Colin.
Yes.
Yeah, we went over this last cast.
Yeah. Well, you got to make sure you remember. I decided randomly I was going to play Castlevania Bloodlines. So I beat that, actually, with no save states. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Ooh.
If I may say
Nice.
so.
I'll fist pound that one.
Did I play it on easy? Don't ask me questions.
Hey, no one judge. No one judges.
Bloodlines on easy.
I'll take back the fist bump and just fist you.
Okay. Well, that. Okay.
Wow. This escalated quickly.
Beyond that, what else? I beat Infamous recently. That game was good. We talked about the issues it had, but beyond that, it was all right. What else was there? Little Big Planet 2. I just decided to pick up the campaign from where me and my fiance left off, and randomly I was streaming it, and actually I was telling JD I was trying to be relevant, I got some time on Friday, time to stream some WWE, because people are going to be like, whoa, Money in the Bank hype. Nobody came out. So that could be indicative of WWE.
By the way, we haven't told the audience why we're together today.
We're going to go watch men oiled up in underwear climb ladders.
AKA, we're going to WWE Money in the Bank.
Surprise.
Surprise, hey!
And if you're watching this in the future, congratulations, Drew McIntyre and Mandy Rose, on your briefcase wins. That's my calls. What else was there? There was that. Oh,
there's a lot I could get into that, but I'll save that for a wrestling cast.
So we're gonna do that, and then nobody came out for the WWE stream. It was 2 people, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna just use my randomizer and pick something else to play. And after the process, I landed on Little Big Planet 2, which I was like, yeah, okay, why not? And then out of nowhere, people were like, I love Little Big Planet 2, and I had 10 people in there. I was like, why? This game's random as hell. There's a newer one to play.
Yeah, Little Big Planet 3.
But specifically, people were out for 2, I guess. That was one of those weird things.
I've only played a little bit of 3, but it added cars and...
I don't think it was made by Meaty Molecule either.
I think it was.
Maybe. Oh.
But it just wasn't as popular, clearly.
So I did that.
But it did get its own Mario Maker level.
It did.
It's true. And then there was Untold Legends, Brotherhood of the Blade I've been playing on PSP. I don't know if you've ever played it.
That was one of my brother's favorite games.
It's Diablo clone. I'm very close to the end, but normally what I do is I'd bring like a PSP or a DS to work and like wait for work to start. Mm-hmm. But the way we get there now, we have to get there, get shuttled, and get back, so I can't like really play it. So I'm like right at the end of that game, and then I thought I beat the final boss, and the game just keeps going. So I don't know when this fucking game's gonna end. But it's pretty good. I'm playing a class I never do, like an alchemist, which I don't really do that. I'm normally a melee person. Good game. There's a sequel on PSP I forgot about. Which...
The second one?
Yeah, maybe I'll get to that. Thank you. It's called Untold Legends, the second one. But
I'm glad I remembered that.
It's okay. It's not a great game, but it's... If you're looking for Diablo on PSP, that's a game. That's it. I don't know what else I've been playing. I haven't been playing... Oh, me and Tina have been playing Bioshock 2, but that game's okay. It's not better than 1. That's all I'm
It is
say.
not better than 1.
But it's still okay. It's one of those games that got shit on for not being as good as its predecessor, but like if you just played that one, yeah, it's a good shooter.
The issue I had with it was it felt like you didn't need to play it at all.
No, but I don't need to play any games at all. So there.
You kidding me with that answer?
No, I'm serious. Like for as I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, yep, that's pretty good.
I just didn't like it as much.
No, but Infinite was fine. I liked Infinite.
I liked Infinite a lot more, but I still vastly enjoyed what BioShock 1 did overall.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I've been playing, like, sporadically. I haven't had a lot of time in the past 2 weeks, so there's that. A lot of these, I'm going to spoil something for you. I really had no time to play some of the games, but I did my best. I'm a good boy, I promise. Don't punish me.
It's fine. It's fine. All we ask is that you attempt the games for the cast.
I definitely attempted to look at them.
So what's our all right, so let's go over the rest of the agenda 20 minutes in. So we got E3 expectations, Mario Maker 2 Nintendo Direct, and then we have our theme is action RPGs.
Yes.
Picked by you, Colin.
Hell yeah.
You picked the longest theme when I got no time, Colin. It was very difficult.
Well,
I had some fun with these. No, I had fun with the ones I played that I knew.
Oh yeah.
It's a good time. So Mario Maker.
So let's pretend there's a drop here and then I'll add it later.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Editing.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I'm not at my computer.
What drop would you play? Just pull up YouTube clips. You have your phone there.
I don't know. Castlevania, I guess.
Mega Man 2.
That's fine.
All right, Mega Man 2. That's right. I did make a bunch of new drops.
Oh, whoa. Look at this.
Both Sonic and Shadow go into Super Hedgehog mode. That is Super Saiyan Hedgehog.
It's too much edge in that sentence.
Do they both turn gold, Super Saiyan?
Yes.
Okay, so blue and black Sonic
Whoa. Again,
turn
racist.
gold.
So are you telling me the, let's say, ethnic hedgehogs are forced to transform into blonde hair, blue-eyed hedgehogs?
Oh my god.
Are you pretty much so Sonic is essentially Nazi propaganda, got it.
Although they don't have blue eyes, they have red eyes.
For like the Nazi colors, yeah.
And Nazis blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah, but you know, red flag. Look, work with me here, Colin.
No, I refuse. I will not entertain your
Sonic
line
is
of
Nazi
thought on this
propaganda
matter.
confirmed.
I will not entertain your Nazi propaganda with Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my god.
This got political pretty quick.
I'm just saying, if this episode title isn't Sonic is Nazi propaganda for the clicks, you're doing something wrong.
That's the Red Leaf Retrocast. All things gaming, anime, and wrestling, found on all your favorite podcasting websites. There we go.
Got it. Yeah, Mario Maker 2, I didn't see the direct live, but I kind of got caught up and saw what was going on. I didn't even realize there weren't slopes in the first Mario Maker.
Correct.
That's such a weird thing that I didn't even think about being... I would have been happy with just Mario Maker being ported, honestly. And the biggest issue everyone I saw always had that I never understood was like, but you don't have the tablet, so I can't use the touchscreen and make a level. I'm like, pull it out of the dock, you dumbass. And then put it back in the dock when you want to play it.
Exactly.
I didn't see how that was such a big issue, but everyone was like, oh, you can't. And also, I used the buttons when I made levels anyway.
Right.
So
some things just get more intuitive.
Yeah. It looks like more Mario Maker. It's everything I would have been fine with plain Mario Maker been ported over. Now slopes. There's auto-scrolling levels now. What was the 3D world part? I missed that, actually.
So the 3D world part is going to be completely separate from all the 2D games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's their way of putting Super Mario 3D World /Land in this kind of pseudo 2D environment. Okay. So it's like a slightly different engine, I would imagine. So it's running off two of them.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see any of that part because I didn't watch the.
Yeah, so you'll have the cat suit and a bunch of warp squares or whatever cubes. Jesus, warp cubes.
The 3D squares, yes.
Yeah, yeah, those things. Math. So they're adding a lot of things. They got different what's it called? Surfaces. Okay. So they got ice, fire,
Wasn't
lava.
there ice in the old one?
No.
Bullshit. There was definitely ice.
No.
Okay.
Anything that was missing from the previous Mario Maker from Mario games is now in this one.
Is Mario Maker 2 clearly just a Doki Doki Panic 2 ripoff?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, it wasn't.
It's
not funny.
Fuck you. Go on.
This is serious.
Sorry, video games is serious business.
Serious stuff.
I'm actually, speaking of that, I'm a little upset there's no Mario Brothers 2 representation.
Yeah,
but if you saw in the Direct, there was the 3D World block and then a question mark, like right next to it, like on the main menu. And I'm hoping that you can make Mario Brothers 2 levels, because while it's not the most popular Mario, I like it for what it is.
It is still part of the history.
Yeah, I would be interested to see how people work with like those mechanics, and like I could see the when you pick up the key, the little face chases you. I can see people making levels like, you better get to the end because this thing's going to chase you the whole time.
Well, it's got the angry sun and moon chasing you.
That was 3.
In Mario Maker 2 now.
Oh, that sucks. I hate those. I hate the sun.
There's going to be some sadistic made levels.
I don't know I wish the one thing I would ask is like in the search filter, you'd be like, no angry sun, no auto-scrolling. Like, I want these filters, like, fuck these things.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. They did go over how you can pick and unpick certain a filter. Mm-hmm. There's a good decent filter in this, and easy, medium level, very hard difficulty levels people vote on, and a little story mode.
Well, they had a story last time.
No, they didn't.
It was like the 100 Mario levels.
That's not that's not.
This one actually Mario's story. What are you looking for?
Well, this one actually has Peach's castle's been destroyed, and you have to collect coins through levels that Nintendo themselves made.
Okay. Fair.
And you collect the coins to rebuild the castle. So it kind of gives you incentive on how to... It gives you incentive on going through that, and it teaches you how to make levels. It gives you ideas.
Gotcha. Little Big Planet.
In a lot of ways,
literally how they do the
I mean, in a lot of ways, Mario Maker is a Little Big Planet clone.
Whoa.
Try saying that.
Whoa. Weirdly enough, the first thing made in Little Big Planet was 1-1. So.
LBP.
LBP!
Huh.
Colin, Mario Maker 2, what are your thoughts?
I didn't get a chance to watch the Nintendo Direct, so I didn't see much. It just seems to me more of Mario Maker 1, I guess, with some added features, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Every feature you've wanted is here. You can be Reggie.
I like what they did. This is what on our sequels cast, when we were talking about what makes a good sequel, like when you think of what, like you said, Kevin, you basically expected a port.
Mm-hmm. Would have been fun.
A lot of people would have been okay with it, and instead, Nintendo has really stepped up their game and made this feel like a true sequel. Mm-hmm. There's so much added. You almost feel like you have to buy the new game because there's so much in it. Not unlike, say, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where it was just, here's your DLC, and then we added another DLC. Right? Is that really a sequel? No. That's what they've been pumping out. So to go the extra mile with what they're doing with Mario Maker 2, I'm very excited for it. It's become a must-have. I have to get this day one kind of situation. And because it's Nintendo, it's not going to pull like a Days Gone on us.
Man, I can imagine if they're like...
or a Rage 2. That's even more timely.
Oh, yeah?
Someone in this room was reporting that Rage 2 is underwhelming. I haven't played it. I don't know.
It's an under the bar kind
Under
of game.
the top was the phrase.
Under the top.
That was a Giant Bomb quote. They were like, man, they promised over the top, but this is like just significantly under the top. Like right almost at the top, but just a little under the top. Like, it's pretty accurate, I guess, from what you said. But
And if I want over the top, I'll play Doom Eternal.
You should play Borderlands 3 instead this September.
Complete
played
with
Borderlands 2.
microtransactions.
I've pretty much had my fill of Borderlands for the next few years.
Wrong. There's no such thing as too much Borderlands.
There is such thing as too many guns. The selection just got me tired out like 30 hours in.
Nah. Well, we'll see if that's a good sequel. Mario Maker.
I finally got to play Borderlands 2 in PlayStation Virtual Reality.
Why?
Oh?
What do you mean, why?
It's just first person as it is. How can that?
But now it's super. You've never played VR, have you?
I think it looks like a really expensive analog stick.
All right, next time I'm coming over, I'm bringing my VR.
All right,
and we're gonna play some VR games.
All right,
it is super immersive.
Yes. The only thing I want to play is Beat Saber. That's it.
Now you should also play Eve Valkyrie.
Eve Valkyrie will. It's cool. It's just too short.
I want also Firewall 0 Hour. I wanted to play. Yeah.
Also, Until Dawn, Rush of
you need
Blood.
the gun. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood is
the
still
not Until Dawn game, right?
It's still no. It's really fun.
Yeah, but I heard it has nothing to do with Until Dawn.
It has enough to do with Until Dawn.
Right.
All right.
I believe you. That was Mario Maker 2, the Until Dawn sequel. I don't know. Somehow I've noticed. Somehow we'll get on a topic and then just be like the end of it. I feel like I just got to connect the two somehow.
It's
Until Dawn Maker 2 confirmed.
Ha.
Actually, that would be a pretty cool game if you can make like a game like that as a maker, like all the decisions, what happens.
That's kind of what all the custom stories in Amnesia has become. Yeah,
into it. And then speaking of things coming out later, E3. Man, nothing's coming out. I don't see anything happening at E3 this year. Sorry, PlayStation's out, Nintendo's not there. Microsoft's gonna be like, we're cool, right, guys?
This is the first time in, man, it must be 15 years that E3's coming, and I go, what the fuck's gonna be there?
Yeah,
I mean, Sony's not.
Sony's not there, so that's 50% of my reason to watch just gone.
Right. Devolver will be there though. So
Devolver Digital, so I'll watch their conference because it's.
I gotta see what happens to Mechanina. I didn't forget. I need to know how that saga finishes.
Well, let's talk about our expectations, what we hope to see, maybe some reveals, whatever. We can start with Devolver Digital.
I hope for Shadow Warrior 3.
Shadow Warrior 3, that'd be fun.
If they even remember. Or a Serious Sam sequel. I'd be into that. They have those rights.
Also fun, yeah.
I've had enough Hotline Miami in my life. And by that I mean I haven't played any of them yet, so please don't make more.
But you have Katana Zero now, so it's fine.
I gotta play Katana Zero. I don't know, I want Devolver to do something...
I want a release date on my friend Pedro.
I don't know what that is at all.
It is a third-person shooter on a skateboard.
Sold.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds weird. Paperboy sequel confirmed. Paperboy goes rogue.
Paperboy goes rogue in hotels.
Sounds pretty fun, actually. I don't know. Who else is at E3? Inspire me.
Let's see. There's Ubisoft doing their Ubisoft thing.
I want to see what the new Ghost Recon is. I'm actually interested in that.
Well, that's coming out in October or November.
Fine. I loved Wildlands so much. I want to see the sequel.
So, yeah, Ghost Recon's surely going to be a thing.
Don't mind me. I'm just as a touchpad, so if it starts going
okay, all right. I want to see more. I want to see actual gameplay in Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I don't know anything from the first one, so I can't say I'm excited.
Colin and I love that game.
I just don't know anything about it.
It's good. Really good.
Well, it's a third-person platformer, right?
Action platformer, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Action-adventure platformer? Let's just keep
Star Fox
throwing
Adventure's
genres on
done
it.
right.
But, like, the second one I heard is, like, nothing to do with the first one. It's, like, one of those, like, hey, it's a sequel, prequel, just kidding. Like,
It has. It looks like it has enough to do with it. But even if it's not connected in any way and it's just another Beyond Good and Evil just separate, I think I'll be okay with that. It's been so long since the first game. They can pretty much do whatever they want at this point. Right?
Yeah.
Especially with the generation gaps that there have been.
I suppose. I don't know. Who else is there? Activision's been at Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, no one cares about Activision. EA is going to show sports stuff. Who cares?
I don't know what EA has anymore because Anthem just didn't do well. So they're probably going to be like, here's DLC for it, buy it, please. That's it.
Yeah, they have their DLC roadmap they'll probably talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sure id Software will be there to give more details on Doom Eternal.
Yeah,
Sure.
probably.
I'd watch that.
Square Enix is probably going to tell us stuff we knew and be like, we're probably going to make another Final Fantasy. Also, 7 might come out one day.
They did announce at PlayStation State of Play that there's going to be more info regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake at E3.
Right.
So
they might also talk about the new paid Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
Gross.
Hey, it's story DLC.
This is when you finally get to see Mickey and Goofy kiss. It's great.
Mickey and Goofy.
Yeah.
Why that pairing?
Because Cloud was busy.
Because Cloud was busy?
Yeah.
Where does Cloud come into this?
It's when he got kidnapped in 7 and he was doing like all the weird like dress up stuff. That's when him and Sephiroth kiss.
Okay.
Yeah. It's real DLC, trust me. It's not a fanfic I wrote. Look, I'm just telling you, I just can't follow the Kingdom Hearts thing. I just assume it's a bunch of Disney characters kissing. That's it. What else is that? Square. Let's see. Square.
Well, Square had Project
Bethesda.
Babylon.
What the hell is Project Babylon?
Square teased last year a couple new IPs. I think Control is from Square as well. I think it's published by them. So that's a game that's coming out in the fall.
Okay.
And it's got this Psycho-Pass kind of telekinesis deal to it. I'd like to see a lot of info on that game, particularly. I was reading a big article on it. The story looks very interesting. It's like Prey, but better.
Okay.
That's what it looks like with telekinesis. Do you remember the PS2 game Psyops?
I
have it in my possession, but I haven't played it yet.
I don't have it.
So Psyops is a game where you're a main character and he's at a facility and he learns a bunch of mind powers.
Okay.
You know, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, etc., etc., etc. And more or less,
I might have it. I'm gonna check my list. Keep going.
that's what Control is going to be. Plus, you get a crazy like gun from Psycho-Pass, the anime.
That'd be cool.
What?
Right.
Okay.
And you're going along in a facility, and there's testing, and you know it's very similar premise, right? And at the end of Psyops,
I don't have it.
at the end of Psyops, there was this big teaser that a sequel would come, but the game sold poorly, so the sequel never came.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping is it's everything I liked about Psyops, but now we got a little bit more interest in it, right?
Okay.
So I'd really like to see a lot more info over this game Control at E3.
There was also, I guess Bethesda will be there.
Yeah, they'll do.
Fallout. Oh no, who's doing Cyberpunk? Oh, CD Projekt Red.
Well, that'll probably be at the Microsoft one.
Okay, so there's that. Square could show off Quiet Man DLC.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Now in Portuguese.
This time your character can hear, but he can't smell. Yeah. What else is there? Dude, I don't even know who's at E3. Like, what am I going to do with that Sony there? Oh,
Well,
the Kind of Funny game showcase. That's important. So, Kind of Funny, the guys that used to work at IGN, they started their own thing, Kind of Funny, right? They, earlier this year, or maybe it was December, Some conference. PSX wasn't happening, so they contacted a bunch of indie developers and said, "Hey, we're gonna do our own showcase. You want to show off your games? Show it here." And they had like 60 something indie games shown off there, from like any little guys to like Sega put a game up there too.
Oh, cool.
So they're gonna be taking PlayStation spot, doing it on their own Twitch channel. So I'm gonna be watching that to see like things that won't be shown at E3 kind of deal.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, they're
so that's part of our little E3 showcase.
Look into the Kind of Funny Games showcase. It's actually impressive that they've found a way to like do that and like get developers to be like, show your game off to this little random like thing we do. So look out for that, I guess. You'll see some cool indie titles.
I mean, based on how 2019 has gone in games, I mean, games like Katana Zero, Shakedown Hawaii, these games coming out, and they're better than these AAA games that are being made.
Right.
For a third of the price, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's a very viable alternative.
Maybe we just skip E3 and watch this.
Kind of Funny Games?
Kind of Funny Games cast. Let's watch it.
I'm down. Colin, you down?
Sure.
Live reactions.
Live reaction.
I don't know. I might be at work when they're doing that, but
no kidding, right?
I'll just be on top of a lift, be like, "Whoa!" I can't
watch it when I get home, or whatever it might be.
I don't know who else. Capcom doesn't have a booth, right? They never do anything.
Well, Capcom's not coming out with anything other than the Monster Hunter World DLC. That looks awesome.
It looks awesome, but I never buy DLC. It's just I don't. I say I will. I don't.
I generally don't either, but I think I'll buy this one.
It's $40. That's the problem.
It's a new game.
That's also true. I don't know. Right
it's essentially a new game.
I'm mad at Monster Hunter Generations right now, so maybe I'll get back to it.
You liked Monster Hunter World.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I love Monster Hunter. I'm just mad at Generations. I can be mad at something and still love it. I do it all the time.
All right. It's called wrestling.
Yeah. What else is... Yeah, as much as I criticize, I'm like, please be better. Come on. I gotta play Cuphead. That reminds me. I just like the vinyl pops. What else do I have to play? Or not play? What else do I want to see at E3? I don't even know what's around. Like,
so
everything big came out last year, I feel like.
Well, I think there's going to be a PlayStation State of Play, just like a Nintendo Direct.
They gotta get better at those.
I like the last State of Play. It was short.
Too short.
It was fine. I think PlayStation does another State of Play, much like Nintendo's little Direct that they've been doing. They'll show Last of Us 2.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, they'll show... what's the Kojima game?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Never coming out. Don't worry about it.
I hope they show a little bit more gameplay than the dude walking around with the backpack.
Don't get yourself excited.
But I'm sure that's a lot of the game, and we'll be like, "Oh my god, it's great!"
Probably. Kojima-san, please rub me some.
Kojima's been keeping a lot of stuff under wraps, and
I'm fairly convinced that game's not coming out, though. I'm not.
There's been some. Kojima's been keeping Twitter active with its development. It seems like they're in the final stages.
Every time I see Kojima's Twitter, he's like, "Check out this Spotify song I'm listening to." I'm like, I can't read Japanese, Kojima, so I won't.
No, last week there's been some more movement on Death Stranding itself, so.
Maybe I'll look just to see, but I don't know when that game's coming out.
Of course, I'm getting most of my information from random Reddit posts.
The most reliable source. That's where I found out about the Mickey and Goofy kissing DLC, by the way, on Reddit. So, I don't know.
It's probably true.
It is true. Don't worry about it. It's confirmed, pretty much. I don't know. Like, I guess what's Nintendo gonna do? Mario Maker we talked about. Bayonetta 3. I guess
that'd be neat.
I still gotta play 2. I don't know.
No More Heroes.
No, that
Travis Touchdown?
That came out already.
No. Third one.
Yeah, I thought it came out.
No, that wasn't the No More Heroes game.
Oh, so there's 2 No More Heroes games.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I'm gonna be into that. Where's Warriors Panty Raid? I want that to come out.
I'd like to see more info on Fire Emblem.
Oh, yep, Harry Potter Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Harry Potter Fire Emblem. Need to join House Raven Emblem.
Raven Emblem.
Raven Emblem.
I know what I'd like to see? A WarioWare for Switch with the Joy-Cons. Like, just
let
it go. Trust me, the screen can go off. It's fine. Like a WarioWare for Switch would be fine. Joy-Cons being used in certain ways.
Yeah.
I would like to see that because, like, putting out WarioWare Gold on 3DS kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Like, as much as the 3DS is still fine, You got to switch now, guys. Do better. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Nintendo will be fine.
The Zelda remake.
Link's Awakening?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Playmobil Zelda. Zelda Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be getting that without question. That's another day one.
So when it comes to remakes, like, I just recently beat Medieval, so I don't really care to go play the new one. Like, I just did it. So I'm not going to buy that right away, at least. But, like, when a game is so incredibly different, like, from Link's Awakening to, like, this Link's Awakening, I'm like, hell yeah, man. Especially going from, like, portable to,
Game Boy Color.
Yeah, that's a weird remake.
To 2019.
Yeah. So I kind of want to see what that is. I also want the Persona 5 Warriors game. I want it. I don't care, man. Look, more Persona 5, I'm in.
I'm not falling into the whole Orochi Warriors trap.
I love those. I'll buy those games over and over. I know it's dumb. I know it's the same game, but animes.
It's half-assed games.
I don't care.
The only one that's mildly impressed me was Hyrule Warriors.
Look, they're like cocaine. I'm gonna take it.
And it's still the same game in the end.
Don't care. Gonna snort that shit right up. Dynasty Warriors. That's me. Every time.
Well, you wouldn't be the only one.
Look, I know. They keep making them.
People keep buying them,
That's fine. Well, I don't know. It's Colin. Inspire me with Nintendo goodies. I'm trying to think.
The only Nintendo-related thing coming to mind for me right now is Detective Pikachu, which just came out.
Oh, the movie. No, the game came out already, though, right?
What game?
The Detective Pikachu game's already a thing, right?
The movie.
Yeah, the movie's out, but there's a game, too.
There was a game on DS.
Yeah.
I think there's a few of them, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Gross.
I have not heard of those.
Ghost of Tsushima, I'd like to see more on.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'd like to see more state of play on that one.
You with the list.
Concrete Genie's around the corner coming out. Biomutant is a game I'd like to see. Biomutant is an animal RPG where you change the genetic code of the animal.
Yep, wait, no, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Shenmue 3, we should see more on that.
Nope.
Nintendo Luigi's Mansion 3.
Right, okay.
That'll be interesting.
We're probably not going to see anything over Metroid Prime 4 because they had to start over.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
Yeah. At least they were honest about it.
Yeah, Bandai was doing that, and I'm actually shocked they took Bandai off the project. Because they're good developers.
It wasn't meeting standard.
Miyamoto was like, I need more Fox McCloud.
So they got Retro Studios back.
As they should. I don't know what they were doing in the meantime anyway.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There's the new Game Freak RPG, so we'll probably see Pokemon, Nintendo. And then Game Freak is also making Town.
What is Town?
Oh, it's
I've not heard of
another
that.
RPG. Animal Crossing, that should be...
Here's the thing, I don't want to fall into that trap, because I like New Leaf for like 4 weeks, and then I was like, alright, I get it.
You played a game for 4 weeks, is that not good?
No, but like, not like I was playing it like 4 weeks straight. I was like, alright, let me go clean my town. Okay, I'm bored. I'm gonna go play something. The biggest regret about New Leaf I ever had was buying a cartridge. Because once you did everything for the day, you were like, this is the only game I brought with me. I had nothing else to do. I wish I downloaded it. So that I can like go do something else.
I believe when I bought my 3DS, it came with New Leaf.
Did you get the small 3DS new one? Because that one was packaged.
I got the Year of Luigi one. It's silver and it has Mario and Luigi etched on. Anyways. So I think Nintendo is in great shape for their Direct. I think Sony, assuming they do a state of play, they got enough to show off with what they teased last year. More gameplay. If they even want to do that, right?
They got to do something with Last of Us 2.
I think Last of Us 2 is expected.
You can't just keep doing these weird trailers anymore. You got to see it.
And then Microsoft. What?
Forza,
Gears of War, Halo.
I look. I know it's a mobile game. I kind of want to see the Pop Gears of War game. Looks adorable.
I suppose.
I want it. I want it real bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna play the fuck out of that.
All right.
Get weirdly sexual with this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Too far.
I don't know what else.
This is what I expect out of Microsoft.
Yeah.
They love hardware. That's their thing. They like hardware over games, which makes no sense to me.
I would argue they like services more.
Well, that too. obviously. But where do you get your services on? The hardware.
Yeah.
So I think this is because Sony's not there, because Nintendo's just doing a direct, and then it's nothing but developers after that.
Xbox
publishers. 2. Xbox
2.
Xbox 12, whatever they're going to call it this week. Xbox Scorpio, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, whatever.
It's actually rain.
I think they're going to announce it and 2020 release.
I disagree.
You think so?
I think we're going. Xbox is now on everything. Xbox is not like a service for PS4. At least the next quote Xbox is going to be like just a platform to buy games. No more actual box. They're really into the whole Game Pass thing, man.
You might be onto something with that one.
Look, it's the writing's on the wall. They're working with PlayStation doing the cloud service thing right now. They met. They shook hands. You didn't see that article?
No.
They recently, I think it was Thursday morning, there was a big article that said like PlayStation and Xbox executives met to work together on streaming.
Wow.
Games. So I don't think you're going to get an actual, I think it's just going to be a service called X service. X Cloud. Is that a porn site?
Boy, would the Xbox fanboys be upset with that.
Don't dedicate yourself to faceless corporations. What can I tell you? I don't know, Colin, you think that's a possibility?
Maybe. Don't know. I just heard the Review Tech USA video on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he says whether you like it or not, cloud gaming is most likely the future. Maybe 10 years from now, but... Yeah.
I don't think, like, next gen you're going to be like, we're streaming all our games, but I don't think there's going to be another Xbox. They'll probably put out their own box. Like, if you don't have a PlayStation or a Switch that has our games on it, here's, like, our dedicated little box. It's probably going to be, like, $150. That's what I see. Or maybe 200 at
No,
most.
it's got to be more powerful to support the games.
If they're going to be...
That's why I'm... Like, I don't doubt your X Pass being on everything.
We got to keep doing. We're making the forearm.
It's like Zoltan from
Zoltan
from Dude, Where's My Car?
I think that they're going services, man. They're putting Game Pass on. They're really into it. I mean, it makes sense. Like, put all your big games on the service. Pay $10 a month. Try it. You don't like it? I download it. You know, who cares? You're gonna end up suckering more people with subscriptions that they'll forget about. Then, like, if people stop playing games, they'll probably just forget to pay that bill. Or not forget to pay it. They'll forget they're getting charged $10 and they'll be like, whatever. I do it with Spotify all the time. I forget I have Spotify Premium almost all the time. It's only $7. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that happens. You're going to get more people that way.
It's almost like they're learning from Shakedown Hawaii.
Fuck. It's going full circle. Yeah, that's the only thing I can see from E3 is like, Game Pass is on everything for Microsoft.
I see that more as a slow announcement.
Over years?
Over time.
Oh, Minecraft AR. That thing that's coming out. Nope, it's actually a thing now. Yeah, it's Pokemon Go Minecraft.
Whatever.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we could watch kids get hit by cars as they're trying to dig in the middle of the road.
Awesome.
It's going to happen.
More Shakedown Hawaii.
Yeah! Shakedown Hawaii E3 is just, you live in this world now. It's chaos. Saturn 2 released.
I definitely think we're going to get to see some sort of hardware, because that's what all Xbox likes showing off, is their hardware. It's going to have something to do with that, whether that's the console or not. I think I'm leaning more towards their next console, right?
Can be.
Watch it just be, if you buy the Xbox One X, you can replace this module in it, and then you can get the next gen.
Going full Sega on them, huh?
Right.
Yeah, gross. Not into it.
With their sales are so bad they stopped announcing them.
It's fair. I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
If
you open up your Xbox One X, we'll come into a Microsoft store. We'll change out the module, and you can get that upgrade.
Sure. Great, guys. There was I don't know. E3 doesn't. I'm hoping to be surprised, but I can't predict anything.
I like your kind of funny games idea.
Yeah.
The most.
I like them the most. They're nice people. Just living their dreams, man. Helps when you come from IGN, I guess. But, whatever.
What game are you looking forward to the most coming out post E3?
Borderlands 3. I don't pre-order games. I pre-ordered Borderlands 3.
Okay.
I did it digital because I want it fucking there the day. I'm taking that day off work, and I'm like, this is all I'm doing. I'm going to be that asshole Twitch streamer who is like, day and date, released. Clickbait thumbnail, or I look like I'm giving an invisible blowjob. Like, it's going to be great.
You're not worried about the microtransactions and all that?
No.
No?
I'm so used to this world. It's whatever. Like, people can cry about microtransactions.
Have you not played Mortal Kombat 11?
No, I haven't. But you know what? 10 also, the first time I booted up Mortal Kombat 10, there was a big thing that said, buy Goro for $5.99. I said no, and then I played Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat 11 does some egregious things.
I've heard.
It's, you gotta see it to believe it.
I've heard it's pretty bad.
It's unbelievable.
I didn't buy Mortal Kombat 11 because I know there will be a complete edition.
Yes.
So,
I wasn't falling into that trap either.
Yeah, I know that. I know Borderlands is for 3 games, even if you didn't like pre-sequel, they've been pretty damn good. Don't get me wrong. Anything can go wrong in 3. Anything can go wrong in 3. But right now, looks fine. The only thing that's really pissing me off about 3 is that anytime you try to look it up, you get more about how Randy Pitchford's like doing magic tricks with some girl's vagina or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all he's been doing. I don't care about him. I don't care about how they're paying their people. I just want to play the game. That's it. I don't involve myself with how the claptrap voice guy. I don't care.
Okay. Well,
I don't care. I don't want to hear about it.
I'm worried about the game, but I'm being very cynical as well.
You're a cynical ass person, to be fair.
I live in reality.
That's fine. Listen, man.
If I lived in an anime world, I'd be transported somewhere before.
Persona kids.
We're adults. We got to be more careful with our money.
Yes, see, Colin has the right idea. We are adults, and I have money to spend. And if I feel that my money is not worthy of said item,
sometimes you gotta take a risk in life. That's all you gotta do.
Well, I guess my risk is Mario Maker 2.
That's the key word. Sometimes.
Yeah.
My risk is Mario Maker 2 and Fire Emblem.
It could be bad. You know?
Fire Emblem could be bad.
My risk is Doom Eternal, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't know anything about Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know anything. I haven't followed it.
Samurai game.
Yeah, sold.
All I know is it's done by Sucker Punch, who did Infamous, and I love those games.
Yeah.
But that's what sold me on it as well.
Egregious DLC practices and microtransactions. You don't fucking know anything, guys.
Well, the closer we get to it, the more info that'll come out. So if they start announcing that shit, then
anything could happen. If Borderlands is wrong, I will go back to my non-pre-ordering ways. I haven't pre-ordered a game since Smash Brothers Brawl and Wii.
Wow, it's been a while. You didn't even pre-order Ultimate?
No, I just bought it digitally because I was like, I'm going to play it.
Oh, okay.
Didn't buy it, just waited for it to come out.
Okay. We got to play Smash after this.
We're gonna.
Okay.
Oh, shit,
Colin.
this isn't live. Fuck.
Colin.
I was going to announce it.
Yes?
What game are you looking forward to the most post E3?
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal. Yeah, big Doom fan.
Hell yeah.
Yours was?
Doom 2016 just blew me away, so I'm expecting great things of Doom Eternal, especially after their QuakeCon showing last year.
What about that Diablo game?
What Diablo game?
Oh, the mobile game?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That was BlizzCon.
That froze my mind for a second. I'm like, what are you... Oh.
Diablo #FE. That one. I gotta get Tokyo Mirage Sessions. What else?
Game is strangely fun.
Played that one?
What's up?
You played Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
No, I need to get it because I looked at it and I thought it was a rhythm game, and somebody had actually in a chat
I
was
thought
no,
it would have been
not.
too, but
yeah, they're like, no, it's actually an RPG. I promise. And I was like, all right, I trust you.
It's
actually Persona.
It's Persona with Fire Emblem characters.
Threw me off by every trailer.
And
I saw
idols.
pop idols like jigging about, and I was like, why are we? What happened to this?
It's very Japan. It's a
Yeah.
very Japan game.
I've heard.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Colin and I had a lot of fun with that.
that's right.
Yeah.
You guys
but
did a couple
it
videos
has
on that.
such a slow moving story.
It's
That's
very
Persona
slow.
though.
It's very slow.
Should we move on?
That
to
game
our
was
games?
so hard to find in Toronto.
Hey,
by the way.
dummy, in your agenda, you wrote first-person view games.
I copy and paste things a lot. All right.
I saw because last time I checked, if I saw Kingdom Hearts in first person, I don't want to kiss Goofy in first person. Okay.
All right. So pretend there's a drop coming, and we'll get on to her theme.
I want to pick.
You want to pick?
Kissing Goofy. I'm not getting off it.
I made a bunch of new drops. So I'll just pick one.
Street Fighter Guile's theme.
Whatever.
Hadouken. Just a loud Hadouken.
Hey, do you like wrestling?
Whether it be in a bar, an arena, some weird place in Asia, or in a stadium?
Or the occasional penis plex?
Well, if any of these things might tickle your fancy, anywhere in between from penises to wrestling, you can come and check out our podcast.
Our podcast name is Smack It Down. We talk all things WWE, New Japan, anything else in between.
I'm Jay Silver.
I'm Corey Gold.
And we look forward to you joining us.
Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day indeed.
What does it even say? All right, so I guess we'll get on to our topic, which was action RPGs. And
So, Colin, why did you pick this theme?
yeah, that's important.
Because I wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts.
God damn it! It's the worst reason ever.
He picked a theme to specifically talk about a single
Fuck!
game.
It's
Well, and ease.
Way to top out the mic.
I don't give a shit. Go on, Colin.
Yeah, but before we get to that one, we'll warm up with another game I quite like, Ease 1 and 2. On the
Now, I've heard it
TurboGrafx
pronounced
16.
like 7 different ways.
Ah, yeah?
There's E's, there's Y's, there's E's.
It's actually pronounced wise. No, it's not.
Y's, W-I-S-E.
You actually have to spell everything. It's Y''S.
Ypsilons. I've heard that. I've heard that in German.
Ew. Oh,
Yeah.
so Y.
Yeah, because Y is Ypsilon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
call it Ypsilons from now on.
Ypsilons. Have you played the new Ypsilon?
It sounds like an Eevee evolution. So I always, whenever I see this game talked about, it's always Ease 1 and 2. It's never just Ease 1 or just Ease 2. Why is that?
I guess it was just a package deal. I have yet to see any edition that's just Ease 1 and just Ease 2. I guess it was a two-parter, and then they decided to, screw it, let's make it one game.
Yeah, because each part runs about 6 hours. And it's
Yeah.
called Ease Book 1 and 2. So you play Book 1 and then Book 2.
I'm here for games, not for
right.
reading.
So for
Yeah,
the sake of this,
so-
we're gonna call it Ease.
Yeah.
Just to be more
So-
consistent.
It was developed by Alpha System, who does the Tales of series.
My mans.
Well,
The later ones.
My mans.
yeah. Well, Alpha System did the TurboGrafx version, and then DigiCube did the PS2 version.
Way
And
later,
Dreams did the DS version. And then it was published by Hudson Soft, also just for the TurboGrafx, and then Atlas did the DS version.
Mhm.
And Xseed Games did PSP and PC version. It was released in Japan on the TurboGrafx 16, or PC Engine over there.
The TurboGrafx Super CD.
The thing that everyone had.
Important
Yeah.
distinction.
Yeah, well, it is when you're talking about the TurboGrafx, because the TurboGrafx itself used the Hue cards, right?
Ah, yeah.
And later, there came the Super CD, the CD add-on. So think of like the Sega CD.
No.
Right? It hooked up to the Genesis.
I don't want to think about
So
that.
the Super CD, there wasn't a whole lot of games, but the Super CD does have some classics. You know, classic Castlevania.
Fighting Street.
Sure. really put me off with that one. And Ease was one of those games that came out on the Super CD, and it turned out to be a big hit.
That was with the voice acting came involved. I remember that. I saw a video. And
Yeah.
it's really weird to see like a sprite-based action RPG with like this booming overtone voice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's something very like late 80s, early 90s that's just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Took me by surprise.
Yeah.
The PSP version of the game really ramped up kind of the chibi sprites to it and made it more full in color. I personally downloaded on the Wii Virtual Console on my Wii U.
As did I. On my regular Wii.
Yeah. So that's how I played this game.
There was a DS port you guys said as well?
Yes.
Same game? Chibi? Or no?
I think it's the same as the PSP.
Okay.
Yeah, most likely.
most likely.
Yeah, no, we could
continue, Colin.
Yeah. So the plot here is fairly generic, but it's an older game, gets a pass. Plays a swordsman named Adol Kristin, who has just arrived in the land of Asteria, which is seeing the rise of evil forces, and in order to combat them...
Evil forces.
Evil!
Yeah. Adol must seek out the 6 books of ease, because he's the chosen one, apparently.
Of course.
Because he's got flaming red hair, and apparently that's part of a prophecy. And so the key to fighting off the evil is in knowing the history of the rise and fall of the Ease civilization.
It's having ginger hair.
And for those who are wondering, because I certainly was, the name Ease comes from the name of a mythical village off the coast of Brittany, which is a region of France, which was once an independent kingdom. And short version, Ease was said to be the home of an advanced civilization that later sank into the ocean, similar to the legend of Atlantis.
Not the only game we played on this theme with a very similar premise.
Yeah.
And not the only Hudson Soft game that it just happened to go that way. That's what I like the most about us each picking 2 games. When we base it off a theme, somehow, more often than not, we pick multiple games either by the same developer or the same publisher.
Oh, yeah.
So just wanted to make that as a side comment. Continue, Colin.
Now, I remember the first time I played this game, which was like last year, I think. I wasn't aware that I had to actually equip my armor and weapons when I bought them, because I thought it would just happen automatically.
I made the same mistake. You're not the only one.
Thus, when I continually got my ass kicked in the overworld, I finally watched a YouTube video for some guidance and finally got it right. Now, I am in full agreement with what you just wrote on the agenda. The music kicks fucking ass. Frickin' love that music.
It's almost a crime for an RPG not to have good music, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
If an RPG doesn't have good music and you find yourself muting it, maybe the game's not that good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The combat is something I really wanted to go over. You pretty much face fuck things.
Yeah, it's true.
That's kind of weird. I was, going into it, you just kind of ran into things, and it kind of looked like I wasn't doing anything. And I was fairly convinced that I was just shoulder charging enemies.
Yeah, but thankfully a health bar for the enemy appears at the bottom of the screen when you do.
I thought it was just a battle of wits. I'm better than you.
I mean, it sounds dumb, but when you actually play it, it's surprisingly intuitive and fun. Although fighting bosses that way can be a real exercise in frustration.
That's probably what I least enjoyed about it. Like, the bosses were very interesting. I definitely played this game the most out of the cast because it was the one I was the least familiar with, but also the most interested.
Yeah, same.
And the fighting mechanic of running straight into enemies was very off-putting at first because I thought I was hitting a button. Mm-hmm. And then I go, I just have to run into them at an angle, right? Or just head on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you take damage when an enemy runs into you first. So you have to kind of position yourself left or right of the enemy and then go into them, right?
Yeah.
It gives a much different strategy to the action part of it, right? Rather than, think of like a modern RPG today. It's all action, real-time based. The new Final Fantasies are all like that, right?
Yeah.
Star Ocean is a franchise that I believe started the real-time action fighting part. This gives you more of a, pun intended, head-on experience, right?
Ha.
Face fucking experience.
It's almost it almost makes you scared of certain enemies to go on because you have to go on to them such in a head-on manner that you have to be careful of everything you're doing. I really liked how let's see what I write down the agenda.
Not much.
Yeah. Not much. I was about to think of another game we covered because a lot of these action RPGs have a very similar aspect to it.
Well, we're getting a lot of Tales vibes from it. There's a whole lot of, like, just from art style, and the whole, I don't think even the GBA Tales games did turn-based, but, like,
no.
Well, this was on TurboGrafx, because we're looking at the PSP one here. Like, it was the same, except the sprites were so, like, what's what I'm looking for? Almost obtuse. Like, it actually looked like you were just running into them.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, it was a windowed screen, and you saw 2 life bars, and one would just shrink. And, like, back then, playing this game, I don't know how anyone would have thought they were doing well. But, like, the PSP version, at least you have there's enough space, and it's in the 3D world to be like, okay, I'm hitting this at an angle. Like, I'm doing it right.
Right, yeah. Which gives it credit to what the remake did. What I really liked is, because you have to get everything head on, and the slightest mistake you'll lose health, they really worked around that by having you stand still in a quote-unquote safe area. Or just
Call of Duty, yes.
Being a... I think this is the first game that had a regenerating health bar.
Highlight for the NES, sir?
This came out before Highlight, did it not?
Did it? Oh, TurboGrafx, NES. We'd have to...
Anyways.
Fact check us, Colin.
Maybe later.
But I really like the late 80s, early 90s anime designs to everything. I mean, that's right up my alley. The music matched it. It matched the feel of it. And even though the combat is really simple, it's very different than anything else out there, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fact they're still making Ys games to this day, with Lacrimosa of Dana, however you want to pronounce it this week. It's a very successful franchise, and I can totally see why. Going back and playing the first book, at the least, was a pleasant experience, I could say.
I don't ever hear the name Ys thrown around in conversation when people talk about best RPGs. Not that it's not good, but the people that like Ys really fucking like it.
I can totally see why.
But it's never had, like, the Final Fantasy, Persona, Tales, even Star Ocean. I hear that before I hear Ys.
Is that just because of me?
No. I know people that like Star Ocean.
I adore Star Ocean.
Yeah.
But being that Star Ocean pretty much shit the bed with its latest release so bad that
it might be just gone.
I don't see Star Ocean coming back. While Ys 8 was very successful, at least in contrast, I see a sequel coming out with that one. So I was just looking up best Ys games that people just put down, right? And the best one is Dawn of Ys. That's the 4th one, I guess.
Yeah.
See, it's weird. I've only heard people go from Ys 1 and 2 and then straight to 8. I know there's none other in between I've heard about.
So I have Origin and Calcutta on the Vita. I have a lot of Ys games on the Vita. I think I have 3 of them. I want Lacrimosa. And I have Calcutta and Origin. I need 7 as well. That was ported to the Vita. That's the PSP version.
I have that one.
Yeah. But being that what I'm reading here, Dawn of Ys, which is 4, and Felghana, I don't know which one that is. Ys, the Oath, and Felghana. Those are being regarded as like the top 2.
Let's see. I'm trying to look up sales numbers.
I think that's Origin. Is Felghana? No. No, this guy just had it tied.
Ys 8 is also being ported to smartphones, apparently, so.
Cool.
So I'm looking at sales numbers of Ys, and I see less than 1 million on 8. 0.11, 0.11.
I think that's pretty good.
I guess it's good.
I don't think it costs that much to make.
No, North America, 0.03 million. So it's there. I guess 1 million is like a low number for like a Battlefield, but like for this, like I guess I'm shocked that.
What did the other ones get?
Oh, I just looked up Ys 8.
Okay.
But I mean, it looks cool. Oh, that's just Switch numbers. Excuse me. Oh, all right. Oof. Okay.
For games like this, if they crack like 300,000 units to 500,000, that's success.
In Japan, apparently Ys 8 on PS4 jumped to number 1 in like 2017. So, okay.
So that was when it came out. Yeah.
It's doing really well then. Okay. Sick. All right, I didn't think it was that popular. I never really hear people.
Yeah, I never even heard of it until JD mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Kevin's like, damn it, JD's right. Fuck.
I keep pulling your earphone out. I need longer earphones.
I haven't moved. You're the one that's going left and right so bad.
Leaning forward to the microphone. It's killing me back. Sorry.
Well, you got to speak into the microphone.
Kiss Goofy.
Well, Ease Book 1 and 2 gets an easy pass. I can't wait to get to Book 2. I did finish Book 1, and it was really good. And I've heard 2 is even better.
That's the exact same experience I had. I finished to the end of Book 1, and now I got to start on Book 2.
Are they both like 40-hour games, though?
No, you can play Ease 1 and 2 in a grand total of like 13 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
actually, a lot of the Ease games aren't that long.
Okay.
I think the longest one is 30 hours.
I'm gonna look up how long to beat Ease Book 1 and 2 now, because I want to play it.
You want to play it more? You mean? Yeah.
You know what? I burped.
I know what you mean.
Sorry. I'm trying not to burp in the mic. How long is Ease 1 and 2? We are 13 and a half. Okay.
There you go.
Wow, you were almost dead on. All right, into it. Pass.
Awesome.
Pass.
Easy pass.
All right, let's move on.
Oh no.
Move on to one you guys are going to hate me for.
Oh no.
Tell us about
actually,
it.
you already do hate me for it.
So for those wondering, Ease 1 and 2, if you want to get the Super CD version, it's like $50 if you can find obviously a working turbo CD. Otherwise, there's the PSP and DS version that I highly recommend, which are significantly cheaper, like $10 tops, I imagine. When it was on the Virtual Console, it was like $4. So
yeah.
But we know that was just a figment of our imagination. It doesn't actually exist. It'll never come out again.
Never happened. What's
Never
a Virtual
happened.
Console? Doesn't exist.
Okay, so the big behemoth of the cast, Kingdom Hearts.
I'm gonna have to give this one a hard fail. You brought up some good points, but you know what? It just
You just
seems
want to skip it.
it seems overrated. I think just the whole, like I said, the whole Mickey and Goofy kissing scene was weird. We didn't really need that. Cloud like getting undressed for Sora, really unnecessary. We could just fail this whole thing. What do you think? Come on, JD, good.
I think
so we're gonna fail. All right.
I think you played the porn.
I downloaded the wrong Kingdom Hearts. Go on, Colin.
Seems we're in for a very spirited debate here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
That's copyrighted, you dick. We're gonna get so sued.
All right, Michael Buffer. Let's go over Kingdom Hearts.
All right, so it was developed by Squaresoft and published by 3 different publishers: Square in Japan, Square Electronic Arts in North America, and Sony Computer Entertainment in the PAL regions.
Did you say Square Electronic Arts?
Square and Electronic Arts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
No wonder.
I'm just going off of what I found on Wikipedia.
Look, I believe you. Oh yeah, I do the same thing. Go on, Colin.
Released on the place.
We've been
hit the mic.
Hold on. We've been leaning backwards or leaning forward this mic this whole time, and I just got to sit back. You might hear some mic noises. I'm sorry. Go on.
So it was released on the PlayStation 2 in 2002. Japan's release was March 28th, North America's was September 17th, and EU's was November 15th, and Australia's was November 22nd, all in the same year. Now, the plot starts off simple enough. I know, right? Simplicity in the Kingdom Hearts.
I was going to say,
it isn't
are you
so.
sure you're talking about Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, really. So, our main character, Sora, and his 2 best friends, no, not those ones, Riku and Kairi, live on a remote island chain called Destiny Islands, and as of recently have gained the itch for adventure. So they build a raft to sail into...
I got a different kind of itch, but okay.
Yeah. So did Cloud after he got into that weird closet with Sora.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Jeez, Kevin, spoilers. Calm down.
Sorry, the 3rd one's out. You had a chance.
Oh, boy. Now, before they can set off, creatures of darkness called the Heartless show up and attack, and all 3 of them find themselves whisked away from their home to other worlds. aka the Disney movies. Sora then meets Donald and Goofy, and they set off on a journey to stop the Heartless, and along the way find Sora's friends and King Mickey.
Of course,
the key phrase here is that it starts off simple. After Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2, things get quite overcomplicated.
Disagree. I thought this game's alone got complicated. I couldn't follow this story at all.
I thought it was pretty simple.
No, I can't.
It's an isekai. Go find your friends. There's a door you want to open.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to simplify it that much, but like, you know what? The thing that throws the plot off is the dialogue. The way they speak, it makes me like, you gotta find inside your heart. And like if I could take a shot of how many times I heard the word heart in this game, I'd be fucking drunk 20 minutes in. Like,
don't play Danganronpa then. They
play.
Constantly ram the words hope and despair down your throat.
Yeah, like,
constantly.
I was so lost in the plot, and then I felt like every time you got to a Disney World, like, fuck the main plot. We gotta help Tarzan find his like cloth now. Like,
well, let's ease into that.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about the subject.
As am I, but for opposite reasons. Because I fucking love this game.
You can.
No.
You're wrong. I'm joking. Go on. Go on.
You're not allowed to like it.
I'm sorry. I won't ruin your fun.
Now, one of the things I love the most about this game is the soundtrack. It's fucking amazing. Yoko Shimomura composed it, and she killed it.
I like the soundtrack.
Some of my all-time favorite music tracks from video games come from here. Although, FYI, they're not any of the remixes of existing Disney songs. Because some of the background music of certain worlds is they're like theme songs. Like Halloween Town has "This Is Halloween" or "Under the Sea" for the Little Mermaid level.
Underwater level's very good.
Ha. Yeah. One song in particular I really love is the track that plays when the Heartless first attack Destiny Islands. And that's the point in the game that well and truly hooked me in. Oh, did you hear that? Sounds like the stage setting for another patented Colin life story. Woo!
Oh boy. Strap in.
Strap on.
I might have already told this story in a previous episode, but fuck it. Let's go over it again as a refresher for those for whom this is their first RLR episode.
I'm sorry you have to hear about Kingdom Hearts. New viewers, go on.
Now, I initially wasn't interested in this game. If anything, I wanted to hate it. I was at that awkward age where I was trying to prove how tough I was as a boy, which included
down the right path.
Which included instantly rejecting anything and everything that didn't feel, quote, manly to me.
Ah, the whole PlayStation premise.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
When commercials for this game appeared on TV, and when I saw the Disney stuff in it, I'd always be like, who needs this?
Nobody.
That's
the point.
One day during a time when I had used Coke auction points to get myself a week-long PS2 rental from Blockbuster. Anyone else remember that promotion?
I do.
The Coke auction? Yeah.
I vaguely remember it.
I don't actually.
Yeah, there was a weird promotion around here like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't drink a whole lot of soda. That's probably why.
Surge.
Well, in any case, I had some friends over, and they had rented Kingdom Hearts and brought it with them. I was reluctant to play, but I ultimately caved, because they were very insistent.
Bad friends.
Ha. And for the first 40 minutes or so, I was kind of meh on the experience. I mean, it was kind of cool to see the various Final Fantasy characters on the island, because you got like Tidus and Waka from Final Fantasy X and Selphie from 8. And it was fun fighting a colossal Heartless in that trippy Keyblade trial at the very beginning. And then the gameplay was pretty solid, but I still wasn't won over to the point of casting my male pride aside.
Uh-huh.
That is, until the Heartless show up in a big thunderstorm.
As they do.
And the song starts playing. I mean, I remember trying to fight the Heartless for a while, but since you only have a wooden sword at that point in the game, you literally can't do anything to them. It's just kind of a nice attention to detail there. But once you get the Keyblade, you are able to do damage, and then somehow that that detail ultimately tipped me over the edge. I was well and truly hooked in for the long haul. And the icing on the cake was the second fight with the Colossus Heartless. And keep in mind, I had played Shadow of the Colossus pretty recently before that game, so this boss fight was giving me heavy flashbacks to that, and that's a good thing. Anyway, story over.
So you brought up the music in the game, which I agree is really good, and it immediately made me think of Final Fantasy X.
Oh, yeah.
And that came out a year prior, so I think a lot of Final Fantasy X influence was in the first Kingdom Hearts, which I think was a very good move. With a lot of the characters, everything was fresh in your head, the music was very similar. The way a lot of things were introduced was also pretty similar. Now, that is kind of where my positivity for the game
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
ends.
You hate it too?
I do not like this game. I even tried replaying it
Really?
fairly recently. Recently as in a year and a half ago when I was still in Toronto, because Colin wanted to play it on the YouTube channel when that was still going on, which it still exists, but it's mostly for the podcast now. And I remember it was okay as a kid. I thought it was fine. My brother was playing it. He was much more into it than I was. I thought the game was okay. Because I wasn't too crazy about being in the Disney worlds. Right?
Yep.
All the Disney worlds were very, very small. And they were a pain to get around.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue with
and
them.
the camera was atrocious.
Those L2 and R2 buttons to rotate the camera.
Yeah, which they fixed later, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We're talking about the PS2 version, right?
No, because on the PS3 version it's like that.
It's still like that on the PS3? Oh, they fixed it even later.
No, it isn't.
Well, I definitely played it recently and it did that. Is there a setting to change it?
Probably.
Most likely.
Probably.
I don't know. I remember playing with those shoulder buttons or the back bumpers on the PS3, and I went, "Oh,
well,
boy."
it like Spyro had used the L2 and R2 button.
Yeah, but that was PS1. I kind of.
But here's the thing: the PS2 was out, so they knew the analog was there.
Right.
They chose not to do that. But here's the other thing which doesn't get a pass with me is if Spyro the Dragon could do it, years prior properly. Then Square, a much more established company than Insomniac or Activision. Well, maybe Activision was around longer, but
they were.
Anyways. Then surely Square could do it.
Right.
The problem with the camera in those small, compact worlds was it just constantly hits walls.
Right.
Right? So, in the Tarzan world, I believe that's the first one you go to. Am I right, Colin?
No, the first one is Alice in Wonderland.
Is it?
Then Olympus, then Tarzan.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Alice in Wonderland. Yep, he's right. I remember.
Okay.
That maybe shrunk down.
Yes, you're right. The camera wasn't so bad there. You first get to that camera issue in the Tarzan world, especially when you're fighting Boomstick, what's-his-face?
Oh, yeah. Boomstick, what's-his-face?
Clayton, thank you.
Oh, you mean the bad guy? I was like, Boomstick, what's-his-face? Oh, yes. My favorite Disney villain.
That would have been cool if you go to an Evil Dead world.
Note to self, make Disney villain.
Well, he's in that tank or whatever it is. This is all off memory.
No, it was a giant chameleon.
Chameleon, thank you. See, Colin knows this. He's got my back.
He's obsessed with Kingdom Hearts. What do you expect?
I've played this game like 5 times over.
That's way too many times. That's like 5 times too many.
So
maybe for you.
So you're fighting this thing, and you're mostly fighting the camera over the enemy. So you're constantly just in this tiny space. And when I say tiny, there's a little cliff to the left, not a cliff to the right. That's how much space you have. And if you ever want to go forward or backward, you have to flip the camera again because it'll turn on you. Right? And the rest of the game kind of goes that way. Because the Alice in Wonderland, because it shrunk you down, there was enough camera space for it to turn, right? So you were able to fight at least somewhat well. Right. That's where you find out the fighting and gameplay is pretty solid. However, the areas after that, Tarzan, I guess the water level is a different sort of atrocious with Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
that was not
complain about it.
Yeah, that not fun. Because you're not doing anything; you're just swimming around, right?
Underwater levels.
Yeah.
Good track record.
Yeah, good track record with water levels.
Huh.
But every level after that was just so compact. It doesn't feel like you're truly in the world at all. You're just platforming around and going between the 3 or 4 screens that are in that world. And it just wants you to find just these random things.
Which don't make sense of the main plot to me. Like, they barely had a connection. I really felt like every Disney World was so disconnected from the main plot. It was just like a side story that took up most of the game. Like, I really felt no connection to Heartless. It was just like, oh, I gotta help Tarzan. Oh, I gotta help Ariel.
It was weird even back then, I would say. Mostly because you get to the world, and the villain is just the bad guy from the movie, and they just say he's bad because of the Heartless or something.
Pretty sure that they had way other intentions when that movie came out.
It was very odd, but regardless of that, the gummy ship.
I hate that part.
I can't stand.
Hate it. And
I said this in the Kingdom Hearts 3 review with Colin here on the Modern Cast. I'm like, why would you bring this part back? Now, it's not as bad in 3 as it is here.
The first one, that I absolutely made the shittiest gummy ship. And I avoided everything I could when I was in it.
It didn't need to be in the game at all.
No, it was annoying.
Yeah, it's such a quality of life improvement when you finally get the warp drive.
Yes. So we spoke on the last cast over Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, where the ship section in space felt disconnected, but at least it was competent.
Okay, yeah.
More or less, right? The gummy ship section just feels like it's there for the sake of being there.
Right.
Yeah. It's just
and
not necessary.
It's not necessary. It's very slow. There's later games, they kind of tied it in where they'd have dialogue and stuff inside, but if you want to ever go back to a world, like, forget it. Because that's what I found myself doing. Oh, I should go back to the Tarzan world, just as an example.
Right.
Oh, but I have to get in the gummy ship again. Well, shit. Maybe I don't want to go back to the Tarzan world that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I normally, I'd say the two things that'll make me like a game is cel-shaded graphics or having life bars over enemies. But I also live in a world where I live by, there's always an exception, no exceptions. And I love action RPGs that have a little life bar for your enemies. This is not the game. It's one of those exceptions where, like, I just found, like, I was swinging. The combat in this, I hate. I hate having a little menu to the side, hitting attack. Then if I want to do something else, I have to scroll through a menu as I'm in the combat. Go to the thing I want to get a potion or a spell. I hated it.
That's a common complaint with action RPGs just in general.
Didn't like that. I don't like how Goofy and Donald felt like they did nothing. I really didn't feel like they did anything at all. They were just there.
As far as the whole menu thing is concerned, there is a function where if you hit L1, there's like a shortcut thing to like spells and potions, that can help immensely on the fly.
You can't. I just think there's way better ways to make a battle system. Like Tails did it, no problem. Maybe they should have taken lesson from Tails.
I don't think Tails was doing that yet. I think Symphonia came out like a year or two later.
All right, so maybe they did.
I think.
That's the first one I played.
Mistaken.
But like, I don't know. I felt like I was just kind of swinging wildly, and eventually everyone would die, and like enemies were just nonstop.
Well, what Star Ocean did in the early games, because
they make an arena, right?
Well, they make it an arena, and you choose your character to go around the enemy, and then you can choose to do attacks. You know, there's still a turn-based element to it,
right?
But it's still real time. The menu system in Kingdom Hearts is a common complaint all the way back to the first game. Because people are in the midst of battle, and you're just mashing the attack button the whole time. Oh, I need to use a potion, L1, click, 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 click. You know, it's too many clicks. You can't do it on the fly quick enough. Common complaint. It's also common with action RPGs in general, right? It's kind of a par for the course of... I feel it's more of a taste thing.
Right.
More than a complaint about the game itself. Now, I will say my two favorite sections in the game, and this is where Kingdom Hearts does flourish, is the main island town, Destiny.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And, what is it, Clock Town?
Traverse Town?
Traverse Town?
Traverse Town, yeah.
Traverse Town. Traverse Town is neat. It's not totally intuitive where to go, like to activate the next mission.
Right.
I had an issue with that. I did have to look up a walkthrough a couple times. Because, like, what am I not activating here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's telling me to go here. I'm here. What am I not doing? Oh, I have to go all the way back, talk to this one person, and then when I go around the corner, a cutscene will activate. I don't like that in any game, and Kingdom Hearts does that a lot.
So yeah, going into the navigation, I never knew where I had to go next. There was really, like, I didn't feel like I got a lot of guidance to be like, the next place you need to go is here. I had to constantly follow a guide.
Well, here's the thing. Right away at the beginning of the game, you see a character going around a corner of a house, right, in Traverse Town. So you go, okay, I gotta follow that guy. You go follow him, nothing activates. Right. You're like, what the hell? Because Sora even has the dialogue, look over there!
Yeah. It is badly voice acted dialogue.
Right. And any player goes, I'm gonna follow his ass. Right? He's got that tight ass, you gotta go follow it.
Yeah. And this is the thing I was talking about the whole time, the kissing scene.
But apparently his ass isn't good enough because then nothing activates. Well, first you have to go inside a house, go through this big dialogue sequence, then talk to this other person, go through that dialogue sequence, and then you can go all the way around.
Yeah.
It's not... I know exactly what you mean. The indication of what you're supposed to do before certain things is not there in Kingdom Hearts. No. Was this fixed in later versions, Colin?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't remember it being as complex as you guys mentioned, because first thing you do, you go talk to Sid, and then after that, there's the whole exploration sequence. That, I will admit, is pretty obtuse. Just going into different doors to activate different sequences and then having to go all the way back to talk to Sid again, that is pretty obtuse, I will admit.
Yeah. So, the game does it quite a lot. Even in the Disney worlds, you have to specifically talk or get an item that you don't know you need to do to activate the next sequence of events. I think that was fixed, it was clearly fixed in the sequels.
Yeah.
But if that was fixed in the first game, in the later versions, which, Colin, you said it doesn't do, I think the game would have flowed so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And making the Disney areas bigger, I think, would have vastly helped it.
I think that might have been a limitation of the PlayStation 2's hardware, though.
I think you're right about that. It had to be a limitation issue.
It could have been, but like I just felt like they were so disjointed from the rest of the game. Like I feel like this would have been a great Square action RPG. If there were no Disney things in it, it would have been a way better game.
But the Disney things was the whole appeal.
Yeah, I get that, but like say you took it out and it was just Kingdom Hearts, a Square RPG.
I don't think it would have done as well.
Fine, but it would have been a better game.
Here's what they could have done: make the character models smaller.
Fine, would have been great. But I just felt like all the dialogue, and not only that, like what made me lose it is like maybe it's a weird complaint, but I felt like between character lines of dialogue, there was just so much awkward, empty space. Like somebody would say a line, and they'd be like, "Come on, we gotta save Mickey." You're right. And I'm like, I just get so taken out because like it's trying to be over dramatic, and I'm like, I'm just completely taken out of the game.
It was voice acting at the time, though.
Yeah, but like
do
do you
not remember Final Fantasy X?
No, I do, but like this game particularly, like it was just like the plot's already confusing and weird. I don't know if you're giving me that space to try to like analyze it all, but like I'm just not about it. I can't get into this game. I've played 2 of them now, and I can't. I'm very lost. I have no idea what's going on. The plot is up its own ass. I don't really like the combat. Navigation's weird. I honestly, like, and I'm not shitting on you for liking it. I know I'm doing a thing here, but like, I really feel like people have a strong nostalgic sense of Kingdom Hearts because maybe they were Disney fans that came out that right age where like you remember Disney fondly, but you weren't actively watching Lion King. But like, and I feel like the only reason that these games really succeed now is just because people are like, man, I liked Kingdom Hearts then. But there's so many better action RPGs now, I feel.
I mean, we did play East 1 and 2.
We did play East 1 and 2. So, I don't know. I can't
What are some of the more redeeming factors about Kingdom Hearts, Colin, since you like it so much?
I want to get some of my negatives out of the way first.
Okay, fair enough.
Because, yeah, I do agree about the dialogue. It does get pretty cringy at times.
Yeah.
I think the cringiest moment is in, like, the second to last level when Sora's confronting one of the villains. He's lost the Keyblade for reasons, and then
anime tropes.
That was the hardest dialogue exchange to listen to, because he's like, I don't need the Keyblade. My best weapon is right here. My heart. That's word for word. That is word for word what he says, and I literally slapped my forehead. I was like, you did not just say that.
It was his heart? Are you serious? What? Who would have guessed? Like, fucking, look, sometimes your heart's not strong enough, kid. Sometimes you're just a little punk ass.
It's a very anime trope, though.
I know, but
it's
it makes
such
it
an
worse.
anime trope. I'm watching an anime right now called Demon Slayer. It's like Kimetsu no Yaiba. And I'm joking that I made this whole... Okay, a little side tangent here.
Here we go.
This is great. You'll love this. So I have a geological engineering degree, so I know a lot about rocks and minerals. More so than the average person, you might say. Right?
So anybody.
So there was an episode, I believe it was episode 4, where the main character gets his demon sword, right? Okay. There's demons in it, basically vampires.
Soul Edge.
And he gets a sword, or he passes the test, and they ask him to pick ore on the various ores on the table to forge his sword out of. Okay. And they all look very similar.
Right.
So he's like, I don't know which one. He smells something. And I go, okay, well, if he can smell it, it's probably sulfur related. Because you can smell sulfur, volcanic rock. Okay, so bang. All right, sulfur, volcanic rock. And then when the guy comes to forge a sword, he goes, oh, I hope it changes color. And I go, okay, that's probably this mineral. Because it'll oxidize.
Okay.
So I'm putting this all together in this very scientific way. So I'm like, okay, it changes color, sulfur related, it's a volcanic rock, it's igneous, it probably has radiation, because it glows in the dark a little bit, so I go, so it's not actually
Where the
minerals,
fuck is this going?
It's not actually the minerals that are, trust me, it'll come full circle. It's not actually the minerals that are killing them, it's the radiation, because also the sun kills them when it comes out. What does the sun have? Radiation. So I broke that all down, and I go, and then somebody said, you're overthinking. I go, obviously I'm overthinking. It's probably his heart. He has a very good heart, and that's what actually kills it. And he goes, you're kind of right on.
The thing is, that whole story
so I'm like,
to get you from point A to point B makes way more sense than the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
Well, that's what's funny about it. It's like, it's probably Captain Planet related. You know, everyone has water, wind, fire style, and then you can't forget about heart. Heart's the best. Heart always wins.
You can talk to monkeys. That is the most anime-ass anime thing I've heard in a while.
You have all this scientific things and reasons. And you go, no, it's probably just he has a strong heart.
So, yeah, I was gonna bring it to a real-world connection, but it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
anyway, yeah,
big
I also
that was worth it.
I agree that the Tarzan level of Kingdom Hearts is terrible. It's just, the environments are so samey, the whole level feels like a task. It's just by far my least favorite world. I also don't like the Monstro world, which is basically the whale from Pinocchio.
Right, yeah.
For similar reasons, because that also has very samey environments, and plus...
It's very forgettable as well.
Yeah. Although some pretty big moments happen between Sora and Riku in that world, so that's why it gets more of a pass than Tarzan world.
That's where they kiss.
And
you know, the stomach acid is really bringing out the green in your eyes.
Yeah.
As I look deep into them, I think lewd things.
Show me how you use that Keyblade sword.
Are we in a sperm whale right now.
Wow.
Your Goku ass hair really turns me on somehow.
Way to channel the fangirls, guys.
They've already written this fanfic 3 times.
Exactly. It's been 17 years. There's plenty of time for all of that.
There's been plenty of time for a lot of things.
It's pretty sad that we're probably not saying anything new.
And somebody out there who listens to this episode will be like, I wrote that. I'm going to copyright sue the fuck out of these guys. Where's my DeviantArt lawyer?
All right. I think we've been talking about Kingdom Hearts too long.
Yeah.
I got more to say.
Do your positives. I swear, do your positives.
Okay, my positives.
I want to hear why this game's worth it.
Oh, just quick thing to point out: the unskippable cutscenes were by far my biggest complaint with this game, with the original PS2
That's just Square
game.
Enix, though.
That's of the time.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
they fixed it in the HD versions. You could skip the cutscenes there.
Okay.
But when it came to some of the more final bosses, they had like 2 or 3 minute long cutscenes right before each of them, and I kept dying all the time on those ones, so it was just a big pain in my ass. But anyway, positives. Yeah. Now, one thing that's really nice about this game is no fall damage. Although, given that the platforming is so slippery, that's kind of a godsend, but at the same time, it doesn't make it any less frustrating. And when you're at the first level, Destiny Islands, you do get to level up a little bit by sparring with the Final Fantasy characters. That was kind of fun.
In the arena, right?
Yeah, it's like the seashore.
Coliseum. Yep.
Olympus Coliseum, you get to fight Cloud and several other enemies. And then later on, you get to fight the Titans from Hercules. That was fun. And I've already mentioned the music. Absolutely fantastic. And the graphics are really, really good for the time. Just everything looks so detailed. And the Disney characters actually really look like the Disney characters. One thing I really like is that they managed to get the majority of the voice actors from the various Disney animated movies back for their respective characters. For example,
I didn't know that.
Yep, you got James Woods for Hades, Jodie Benson for Ariel, and they even got Catherine Beaumont back for Alice in Wonderland, just to name a few. And that's really impressive. It's too bad they couldn't get Robin Williams back to voice the genie, but hey, you can't have everything. But instead, they got Dan Castellaneta to voice him. And just so you know, he was the one who voiced Genie in the TV animated series of Aladdin, so he's a decent substitute. And fun fact, he is also the voice of Homer Simpson.
Did not know that.
Oh.
Yep.
Neato.
And there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Come on, where is it? Oh yeah, another fun fact. Mickey was originally supposed to be the main character, but there were some licensing issues, so he only appeared for a short time at the very end. Hence, when Sora was created, his outfit was designed specifically to resemble Mickey's classic outfit. Hence the big yellow shoes, the white fingerless gloves, and the red shorts.
Oh.
Looks like a fucking nerd.
He's a Square character.
That's true.
They always look like they just came out of a tumble dryer full of cosplay.
Actually, the biggest Kingdom Hearts meme I saw was like, this has just been a series of Sora learning how to put a belt on properly, because the first game it's like dangling off. The second game he's got like 2 belts crossing his crotch, and the third belt he's finally wearing it right. I'm like, over time.
You should see Squall. He's got like 8 belts.
That's just
Squall
Square
from
Enix.
Final Fantasy VIII.
That's just Square Enix being Square.
All right. So
Yeah, pretty much.
we've been talking about Kingdom Hearts a long time.
Yeah.
Let's kill it.
Well, fuck you guys. I give it an easy pass.
I give it an
Suck it,
easy,
heathens.
easy fail.
Yeah.
This game gives me
fails
the
with
warm fuzzies.
Yeah, I mean, I probably liked it a lot more when it first came out, but going back for the cast,
Nah.
can't pass it.
Nope.
I disagree. I think it holds up, but I think it's more of a taste of gameplay more than anything else.
All right.
I guess I'm just more forgiving in this regard. But anywho,
Take those nostalgia glasses off.
I was just gonna say it.
I don't have to.
That's
All
right.
right.
This is America.
Well, that was the big debate. Lot to talk about there. I'm sure. I hope the fans enjoyed it at the very least. Fans of the cast.
Write your fanfic where Colin kills us with a keyblade.
Right.
About it. We're heartless now. Moving on. So I picked something because this was a hard theme for me because normally when you're like, quick, Kevin, pick games. I'm like at work and I go, and then I had to think of things at the top of my head. So I picked Faxanadu is how you pronounce it.
Not Faxanadu?
No, it's not Faxanadu. It's Faxanadu for the NES. Because...
What if it's Anadu and you have to fax the information
fucking
over?
wrong,
No?
that's why. There's apparently a series called Xanadu, which is a bunch of PC RPGs.
Yes.
And the FA stands for Famicom. So it's Famicom Xanadu.
I did read that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so... very, very Zelda 2-like game. It was developed by... screen's far away. Nihon Falcom, who did the E-Series and...
The later E-Series.
Because I remember seeing Falcom on a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Published by Hudson Soft. It was released Japan, November 16, 1987. August 1989 here. And Europe, late to the party as always, December 20th, 1990. What are the quotes you put here? Don't have negative thoughts, remember your mantra.
Every time you die.
Yep, okay. I was like, is that song lyrics
You
put
see
in there?
that a lot. Because you will die a lot.
Yeah, it is very Zelda 2
And you
clone.
lose all your money when you do.
Well, fucking, if you're gonna stab me, you might as well take my stuff, right? It's an action platformer RPG, I'd say. The one thing that always turned me off about this game in the first time I played, a lot of brown.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
the color palette is very bland.
Yeah, that was one of the graphically reasons why I never
Beige,
really liked
brown, peach,
Yeah.
dark brown, light brown.
There was a lot of grinding in this game. You really had to work to get better from where you are. You kind of don't have a good weapon to start with. You kind of have it's like a butter knife, let's be honest. A little butter knife stick.
Mm-hmm. Dagger.
Yeah, the thing is, this game really gets talked about a lot, like hidden gems, bro, like of like an action RPG in NES that gets overplayed. It's not terrible. It's just kind of there. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but like the dialogue it's very of the time. Like buying items is kind of a pain in the ass. You bought one item, you had to start the dialogue over again. Buy another item, which doesn't seem like bad when you have to buy one thing. But like buying keys in this game is just open dialogue, watch the guy talk, buy one key, and he's like, all right, thanks, come again. Open it, do it again. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember it. Yes, I do like the Zelda 2 comparison quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Did this come out before Zelda 2? I think it came out after.
Hold this so it doesn't fall. Let me check. Zelda 2, this came out, you said August 1989?
No, November 87.
Oh, you're going by Japan release dates.
Well, that's when the game first came out.
I keep forgetting that. Zedla 2.
Zedla 2?
That's how I spell release date. Zelda 2 release date. See, it's hard to find NES release dates. Oh, January 14th, 1987. Yeah, a couple months before. So.
Couple months. It was almost a year.
Almost. But Zelda 2 was...
So...
It was... They knew what they were doing, they just didn't do it right. If that makes sense.
I think this was better than Zelda 2.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the dungeons are extremely similar. The way it plays out.
Yep.
You have your short little sword, dagger, whatever you want to call it. And you go left to right in a platforming sense, and you hit the enemies based on their little movements, right? You gotta learn each enemy movement. What this does way better than Zelda 2 is you're actually in a dungeon, right? Was it Master of Darkness, the Master System game that we played? That was a lot like Zelda 2?
Yep.
With the overworld and going into the dungeons?
That was like Castlevania. It was more like Castlevania. I guess it was Zelda 2, like, you're right.
I'm thinking of a different Master System game that we did play for the cast. I got the name wrong. I'll look it up another time. But anyways, there's another RPG on the Master System that's very similar. I like the overworld in this much more. Mm-hmm. It feels much more like an RPG. And then you go into the dungeon, and it functions just like what Zelda 2 does. But I think it's better because the dungeons were more interesting.
Yes.
The dungeons in Zelda 2 felt like a maze of blocks that all look the same.
Way too cryptic.
Right. So, being that this came out a year later, I think it fixed a lot of that. What it didn't fix was, just like in Zelda 2, the grinding is is an atrocious level. There's so much to it.
Well, being that it's a very early RPG, like, they didn't really understand that, like, Americans aren't super into grinding, I feel. Like, Japan loves that shit. Japan loves grinding.
They love chilling out and the time just flying by like that. Like, a good grinding example, at least I saw, was if you only play with the cards in Final Fantasy VIII.
Yep.
And you grind for like 4 hours doing just nothing but card battles, you can go through the whole game and beat it with just the card techniques. You have like 1 health on everybody, or just your basic things. Your GFs aren't powered up at all. It's pretty funny. That's what I amount to this grinding, because what you do is you get so scared of dying because you just lose all your money. You do keep your items at least, which is nice. There is a password system. It's irritating, but hey, that's the time, right?
Uh-huh.
So you just grind until you have literally everything you need, and you're overpowered to the point where you want to avoid
getting in fights.
That punishment of fighting. So that wasn't balanced well at all. But I also think that's a product of the time, right? So the whole point is you start with your dagger and you go defeat the evil one. So very, very simple plot there. The whole world's infected with dwarves, but they look like monsters out of Berserk, manga or anime, whichever you prefer. It's jumping eyeballs and the like. Could you move that left, please? Yeah. I did like the 8-bit renditions of the music in the game.
Right.
Yeah. Because, again, RPGs have to have, I feel, good music.
Otherwise, it's not
Absolutely.
good.
So, didn't like the grinding. You die a lot. If you want to avoid the dying, you have to grind to get what you need. And I agree about the key sentiments. Just constantly going into dialogue boxes.
Turbo A.
So that gets on the negative side of things.
I didn't feel like it was a super good action RPG, but for the time, what were your other options? Zelda 2.
In 1987, there was not a lot of options at all.
Not for action RPGs.
Well, especially action RPGs.
Yeah. It's not. If you're looking at it just at a 1987 eye, it's fine. But like nowadays, I'd be like, no.
It's a tough sell nowadays, for sure. It doesn't hold. Like, I think Zelda 2 is really bad.
It's not great, no.
I would definitely, if you asked me to play Zelda 2 or Faxanadu, I'd choose Faxanadu because I'd actually know what I'm doing, and I know what to do. Right? There's just the grinding aspect. So come back to me later, and I might decide to pass this or not.
Yeah,
I'm very on the fence. I'm on the bubble with Faxanadu. How about you, Colin?
I'm kind of in agreement, although I don't think I liked it as much. I mean, I found it to be one of those games where save states will save you a lot of trouble and frustration, because they certainly did for me. But I didn't really see much appeal in this one. I mean, unlike Zelda 2, you can only stab your dagger out in one direction rather than up and down. But you gotta be very well prepared for each level. And those, I think the thing that infuriated me most about the game was some of the jumping gaps with the spiked barnacle things. You can't hit them with your weapon, and when you're trying to jump over a certain gap, which by the way you have to do like pixel perfect in order to make it, and then
the amount of platforming I think was overdone for sure. Yeah,
the spiked barnacles just hang really close to where you are, so you got to time it exactly right so you can avoid getting knocked back off. You fall so fast. It's really annoying. And couple that with just those two facts coupled together, you've got a recipe for major blood pressure problems.
Damn.
So,
not
the
great.
game has its merits, but I have to fail it.
Yep. I'm gonna fail it.
You know what? Now that you reminded me about the platforming sections, that was rage-inducing because you'd fall multiple levels.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do about it, and you have to go all the way back up
cry.
Make this perfect jump.
That's all.
You cry. I died a little inside.
Yeah, that's fine.
You could say my heart wasn't in it.
I've also played Kingdom Hearts and I died a little inside. Oh, Faxanadu. Sorry. My bad.
So, yeah, I think
Keep talking. I'm sharpening my keyblade.
I think I'm gonna fail Faxanadu, even though I didn't enjoy a lot of parts to it.
It's an okay game, but if we're only going on a pass or fail system, fail.
So I don't think it's a hidden gem.
No.
That's
why
No.
goodness is subjective. Like this asshole thinks Kingdom Hearts is good.
Jesus, you're so harsh today, Kevin.
I love you, Colin. I'm sorry.
God, Mr. Heel over here.
Heel Ziggler. I said heel, not Heil. No more Nazi propaganda.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Oh yeah. So Diablo. Joking.
Yeah, let's go to Diablo. Where we're facing
yeah.
the Hitler of hell.
I'm pretty sure
boy.
it's just. So it was developed and published by Blizzard December.
Oh, wait. Faxanadu
whoa.
you can get on the NES for like $7.
Dude, fucking do your own shopping. I ain't your mom. Diablo. So Diablo, that came out for the PlayStation, and actually a port that everyone kind of seems to forget exists, which is why it's kind of uncommon. Mm-hmm. Developed and published by Blizzard. You choose your character, a warrior, a rogue, or a sorcerer, but you can learn pretty much any spell, so you're almost unrestricted. The classes are kind of almost a non-factor.
Yeah. I read a lot of hardcore Diablo fans didn't like that in the original.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh man, I can't read from far away.
Well, you want to get closer?
No, I don't. All right, I can.
You are reading my notes; they're not yours.
I know, but I can't read. Set in the fictional kingdom of Condorus in the mortal realm. Is this Mortal Kombat?
Sure.
Diablo is a Mortal Kombat game, confirmed. Diablo makes the player take control of a lone hero battling to rid the world of Diablo, the Lord of Terror, obviously. Beneath the fictional town
the Hitler
of
Terror,
Tristram,
you might say.
You would absolutely say that Diablo is Mecha Hitler, confirmed. Beneath the fictional town of Tristan, the player journeys through 16 randomly generated dungeon levels, ultimately entering hell itself in order to face Diablo, which reminds me, that is like my favorite part of Diablo, is that game never ends. You can play it over and over, and you're never going to get the same experience. Even to Diablo 3 now.
You like those randomly generated games.
Because if I was on a desert island, I'm going to pick something that never ends and never gets boring. You know, there's always something to do. Like Diablo 3, the beginning dungeons are similar, but like where they are in the overworld to find them even, it's different every time. And also, money becomes a non-factor, so blowing through these games like over and over and over because you just keep your gold. So this one actually, they didn't really get there yet with that from playing it more than once. Anyway, isometric, which is normally like a hit or miss kind of thing in games, especially from that time. It's a dungeon crawler, a lot of good voice acting in it, and my eyes are fucking drying out. a lot of random, there's a whole bunch of random generation in this game that kind of keeps that gameplay fresh, minus isometric parts. I really hate that, because we still didn't really learn 3D graphics at this point when this came out, and it kind of aged that way. If I don't know if you feel the same way, but like navigating it was kind of weird.
Walls in
the way,
transparent, and
things behind foreground that really I wish weren't in the way.
Yeah, you'd hear an enemy, but you wouldn't be able to see it.
Right,
kind of deal when it requires you to see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can pull up something. There was one part in this game that kind of pissed me off, but fill time for me while I find it.
Colin, what's your history with Diablo in itself? Because we originally were going to choose Diablo 2.
Right. Which I'm way more familiar with.
But I really like going back and playing the first one, because a lot of people are familiar with Diablo 2. Probably not so much these days with the first one.
No. It's overlooked.
Yeah, plus it's available on good old games, so anybody can play it if they have a good enough PC.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't play it on my Mac, but my dad had an old laptop lying around that I was able to use, and it worked out pretty well. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is one of those games I always heard about growing up, but never played, probably because it's literally about satanic stuff, and I was raised in the church.
That'll do it.
And the box art definitely doesn't help in that regard.
So you're saying you were not raised in a Nazi propaganda world?
That's not confirmed. He just said church.
It's not confirmed? He did say church. He did say church. Okay.
So.
What?
Go on, Colin's fine.
Yeah, we learned extensively about the Holocaust in school, which is apparently more than you can say about certain other schools in the States.
That's fair.
That's absolutely fair.
Anywho, I have played Diablo 3 on my PlayStation 3, but not the previous two. And I had heard that 1 and 2 are much grittier and more atmospheric, whereas Diablo 3 is very overly polished and cartoony.
Yeah.
And it's considered a good game, but it doesn't have the same impact as 1 and 2.
Well, 1 has that very, if you remember like early days of RuneScape vibe.
Yes.
Which has like a weird nostalgia thing for me. And like almost like the way it looks from 1 to 2, very similar, but 2 was more of like a polished version of 1. And like you said before, Colin, when I saw 3, I was like, why everyone's got big tits? Why?
Yeah, it basically became Gauntlet.
Well, actually, so it's funny you mentioned that because I'm not sure. I think Gauntlet came first because it has all the arcade games from like the sprite-based arcade games. But this is pretty much if they made. Trust me, it came out first.
Okay,
it was a 1980s game.
All right,
but like the first Gauntlet definitely inspired this game. If they pretty much took Gauntlet. Said, how do we make this a full-length game? I'm assuming.
And how do we make it 3D?
Right, and then it came full circle where now, we're like, for my Game of the Month Club, we're going to be playing Gauntlet Legends. So I previewed a little bit. And this game and Gauntlet Legends, minus like the graphic style, are pretty much identical. So it kind of came this weird full circle.
Huh, so who knew?
Yeah, so if you like Gauntlet, you'll probably like this if you want more of a fuller experience, I guess, is the way I'd describe it.
Okay.
Good RPG.
You can get more weapons.
Yeah, it's like, and it never really ends because I mean, the gameplay is still the same, but like the game never ends if you don't want it to. It just keeps generating. The story is almost a non-factor in this game. Honestly, it's Diablo bad. Grr.
I think once a level is generated, it stays that way.
Well, yeah, but if you start a new file,
if you're like starting all over, you get new dungeon layouts each time.
Yeah, so, I mean, I like this game. The problem being is that with Diablo 2 still being fairly popular and Diablo 3 existing, there's no need to go back to it. Plus, there's also a bunch of other isometric dungeon crawlers, like I was saying Untold Legends. Mm-hmm. There's a Gauntlet on PS4 even now, which I haven't played yet. I'm not sure if it's more arcadey or if it's more RPG-like. But this game's fine, but I would give it a soft pass because like there's just so many other better things to play that are the same thing. So I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm gonna give it like a soft pass.
Yeah, it took me a bit to get into, but once I did, I found it pretty addicting.
Yeah,
I mean, I had quite a bit of fun with this one, though getting around could be pretty tedious. Thankfully, you get special spells that allow you to warp back to town if you want to empty out your inventory. Because that's the thing, your inventory fills up very quickly with items. So you got to be constantly selling stuff and buying other stuff to upgrade. It's kind of...
Well, a lot of the quests...
Of Diablo.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the quests are optional up until the end, where I read the final 2 quests are mandatory in order to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So, so a lot of things are randomly generated the entire time up until the very end, which I could appreciate. Everything ties together into the same closing. I didn't like the item management in this. Diablo is the style of game that I call a Western RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And these games are so not my thing.
Really?
Yeah, being very transparent. I think I vastly dislike the gameplay.
Really?
Where you stand there, swing a sword, item drops, you pick it up. Like, that loop, to me, isn't engaging. So whenever I appreciate everything Diablo does, right? With the randomly generated levels, it never feels like the same experience twice. Isometric view is it's passable, being that it came out in 1996, right? Even the PlayStation port is very passable for how it looks and the isometric viewpoint to it. But the whole fighting gameplay mechanic never grasped me, ever. This style of it. Mm-hmm. It's just not engaging for me. And even though I was playing Diablo and I go, okay, I get it, right? But you just stand there the whole time. And you activate the button, swing the sword. And I just don't feel like I'm doing anything in the game.
Yeah, you get to a point where you become so powerful that, like, you could almost do nothing.
Like, this is why I could never get into a game like Warcraft. Because it doesn't feel like I'm part of the action.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, it's not so bad, but if you didn't even get past the beginning that much, like, you're not going to like the end. Because there's a point in Diablo where the game is almost self-aware of how overpowered you become. Like, my brother's final character in Diablo 2 generated per second more health than he could possibly take in the game. And he literally could stand there and go, ha ha, fuckers. Like, it becomes to that point. So, if you didn't like it in the beginning, you're not going to like it later. That's my point.
No, I mean, like I said, these games are just so not for me. At all. Baldur's Gate is another Untold Legends, Baldur's Gate, all those kind of games where it's just you're in that third person and you have either the spells or you're the tank or whatever it may be. Just can't get engaged.
Right.
And the first Diablo, I appreciate what it does, but it's not the exception to my taste. Right? So, unfortunately, I'm gonna fail it.
Fuck you.
But I'm being very honest, it's literally my taste. That's why I'm failing it. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying it's just simply not for me. And I did read something interesting about Diablo, where the creators were hoping it would sell like even 100,000 copies. And then before they knew it, it was selling 500,000.
Oh,
and then
wow.
And then for the entire year, it was the best PC game in the top 3 selling until almost 9 months after it had originally came out, and that's when it fell finally out of the top 3.
So why do you think they decided to port it to PlayStation? Just because money? They were like, why not?
Why not?
And then 2,
put it on console.
Yeah, and 2, they were like, no.
That seems a bit weird, but maybe it was just too much at the time because computers were getting a lot more powerful than the consoles in that era. So, Diablo was an interesting experience. You know, now I can finally say, yeah, I've played the original, right? The whole loot drop system that these Western RPGs have, that's why the item management was so irritating to me.
Right.
Just it immediately fills up, like Colin said, and you just, fuck, now I gotta go back and sell it. Yep. And then within seconds, it's filled again. I'm like, well, crap, I can't do anything. I'm not in this world. I'm not engaged. Yeah. I'm probably in the minority in saying all this. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Different strokes, different folks.
Colin, did you say you pass or fail it? I probably interrupted you.
I give it a pass.
Okay.
The weapon durability could be pretty annoying at times. Especially with the armor, because I found more than once, whenever I went to check my inventory, my whatever one piece of armor that I was wearing at the time was suddenly missing because it broke, and I didn't get any indication of it beforehand, so that was a bit of a complaint for me, but I still give it an overall pass.
Okay. And
to those who love looking at backstory type stuff, this game has a very extensive one in its instruction manual.
Good old instruction manual stories.
It's pretty much a light novel in and of itself.
I don't doubt it. All right.
Yeah. Moving on.
Let's move on. Let's kick this up a notch. How do I go down?
I am starving.
You're hungry, but I have a donut over here.
Actually, you know what? Let me try a bite of that. I want to see what the hell was making him gag so much. You start it, and I'm going to give a donut review.
I took a bite of that, and I went, oh my god, I'm going to die of like a sugar overdose.
This is not strawberry frosted.
No, it's not. It's like a glazed strawberry doughed thing. Hold on. He's smelling it.
The smell reminds me of something like specific. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
There's like a snack you used to buy as a kid.
Kevin is deep in thought.
This is becoming an ASMR channel. All right. I'm going to just...
He sees the sprinkles.
I'm going to bite where you bit. Sorry.
That's fine.
All right, cool.
Okay, he took a bite. He's chewing it. The sprinkles were softly falling out of his mouth, but he caught them with his tongue.
There's a smell that I can't... It smells like something else specifically. I just can't put my finger on it. It's pretty good. Damn it, your earbud.
So you liked it. You liked it. Okay, good. I was not a fan.
Like those cereal bars. You ever had those where it's like fake milk on top of Fruit Loops?
Yeah.
Right, whatever.
You think it tastes like... Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, what are those called? I don't remember. Anyways.
Cereal bars.
So, my two games. First one is Crystalis. You can get Diablo on the PlayStation for like $40. I always do that. I always forget to announce it. Yeah.
$40.
Just $40 for the original. Anyway. So, I picked
It's $10 US on good old games.
Well, yeah, for PC.
Yeah, if you
Who
get it.
plays on PC, you nerd?
Jeez, you gotta get it on the original PS1.
PS1!
Crystalis on the Nintendo Entertainment System, later ported to the Game Boy Color, which I think you played, Kevin.
I did.
Yeah, in 2000.
I have a story about it that
like
kind
10 years later after its release.
Well, there's a big problem with the Game Boy one I want to talk about.
All right. Developed and published by SNK, of all people. The fighting game company.
Fighting
you
game.
crazy? Yeah.
Which is weird, because I don't think they found their fighting game niche at this point.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Released in Japan April 13th, 1990. Later released in North America July 1990. Takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, which naturally means it's immediately better. In 2097, 100 years after October 1st, 1997, the end day. So we're in...
That's math.
Don't you mean Judgment Day?
Was that when T2 came out?
Ooh.
Yeah, Terminator had its Judgment Day happen in 1997.
God damn it!
So, global thermonuclear war began that ended civilization to a primitive medieval existence. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's populated
Sounds
with
like Horizon Zero Dawn already.
Yeah, populated fierce mutated creatures at the time. But unlike Horizon Zero Dawn, it just went straight medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the game begins. You're a young magician awakening from cryosleep.
Of course.
Yeah, he was placed in by the villains of the Great War before nuclear war rained down in 97. So I'm so glad we lived through it, guys.
Mm-hmm. We made it. We lived through 2012 too.
Of course, he has amnesia.
Obviously.
Right?
Yes.
He doesn't know his name, who he was, etc. He exits the Mazame shrine and discovers that he may have the key to save the world from destruction. So your atypical Final Fantasy type plot, right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to do something very important in a second.
All right, in a second.
Yeah.
So he has to save the world from destruction because he's the amnesia guy. So the plot to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah, right?
Actually, side note, was that ever addressed in Breath of the Wild? Why he was in that sleep?
Yes.
It was? I missed that
Don't
completely.
say. I don't want spoilers.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Aided by 4 wise sages and a mysterious woman, sound familiar? He rises up against the tyrannical Dragonian Empire to ensure that humanity ultimately does not repeat the Great War. So it's got this crazy plot that we've seen in many games after this, which I thought was very interesting.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, a lot of Final Fantasy follows that line. Mm-hmm. I believe a Star Ocean follows that line. A lot of RPGs follow this plot. Even first-person shooters, I think.
Yeah. There's a couple that do that.
Yeah. I found the gameplay loop incredibly addicting in Crystalis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had heard about Crystalis from a number of people. That, you're going to play an RPG. It's
one of them.
This is hidden gem territory.
For sure.
Especially being SNK, people who are not RPG people at all.
Yeah, when I saw this was developed by SNK, I'm like, how? What?
That's actually the reason I've always wanted to play it, honestly.
I even looked at the box art, and I wasn't too impressed. I'm just like, it looks like a medieval, whatever.
Yeah. And you played the NES one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Colin, you did too?
I did what? Sorry?
Did you play the NES version?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. All right, I have something very important to say.
So this has an interesting loop to it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of upgrading armor and swords and whatnot in traditional sense, where you have to go to a store like Faxanadu, right? In this, you have to find the various swords,
Yes,
and then find the various items to unlock said things that you have to power it up, right? It's got its own level up system in that way, which I found different enough where I was very engaged, right? So, what did you guys think?
it was a very fun action RPG. I didn't really. I'm trying to think how I want to word this. It was a fun gameplay loop. It was easy to navigate. I knew where to go next. The thing is, once we said Breath of the Wild, I realized the guy's also wearing blue.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it's weird. So the big thing,
I was constantly making Breath of the Wild connections to Crystalis.
I like the combat felt good. The HUD was very clear. Here's the thing, and this might be worth it for you to look up as well, Colin. Since I played on Game Boy Color,
Okay.
it has a very, very big screen zoom problem. Where if you play an NES, you can see pretty much the whole screen and everything you need to see. And this area that we're watching the boss fight, you're fighting the big green knight. The screen's about this big, and there's a lot of scrolling, and you cannot see where the enemy is.
Oh, yeah, I can see that being an issue.
So I would have liked this game a lot better, provided I played it properly on an NES. But I had the Game Boy one, so I said that's what I'm going to do. Granted, is the difference between the games that big? No. In fact, it's almost exactly the same if you can get past the screen cropping. And actually, I totally forgot that feature. Charging up your sword, I love that. It made it a super good projectile. I actually shot more enemies than hit with my actual sword. I don't think a lot of games were doing that back then. Minus Zelda when you had full health.
Zelda was only full health, but you didn't power up.
Yeah.
I believe Star Ocean had a power-up system.
Yeah.
One of them.
There were a lot of different spells, which I like the variety of gameplay because you need to know what you need to get to the next part. Very Zelda-like. Instead of items, you had different spells.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Zelda comparisons. It's just a little less good than Zelda. More plot heavy, kind of more refined, just not as charming, if that makes sense. It's still a good game. I'm not saying it's bad.
I found it much easier to navigate than Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Because Legend of Zelda had...
Cryptic.
It was very cryptic. You had to explore this world. This was a lot more detailed.
Right.
Yeah, it was more straightforward. Plus, you can actually swing the sword while moving, which is a
huge, very, very useful.
Huge part of why I enjoyed this game.
Mm-hmm. Is good.
Oh yeah.
So
I've mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn as far as the story is concerned, but it also kind of reminds me of Najika of the Valley of the Wind. What with all the mutated creatures running around.
Oh sure, yeah.
What is that?
For Kevin's sake, that's
an
Ghibli
anime
movie.
Oh,
it's a pre-Ghibli movie.
You lost me. Go on.
Ha. Yeah, I really like this one. It's very quick to get through the intro, thankfully. And
it's fun.
For some reason, the music is giving me flashbacks to Mother 1, aka Earthbound Beginnings. Sounds very similar. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through my notes. I can't think of anything much to say other than what you guys have already said.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I said, it's a pretty good action RPG on the NES, especially for a company that does not make them. But I mean, it's worth playing. It's not going to be like the first game that stands on my mind now that I've played it. It was more of a curiosity, and I guess maybe I expected more because I always think SNK. I think pretty sprite work,
Ah, yeah.
I think the sprite work in this was phenomenal.
Yeah. And actually,
yeah.
While you're gathering your thoughts, I'm going to show you Crystalis on the Game Boy.
Oh, as a comparison?
Yeah, well, no, you can just see how zoomed in it is comparatively. Yeah. And actually, Colin, I'd recommend it. The menu's a little bit, but look at this.
Oh, you can't see anything of the world.
Yeah, it's super zoomed in.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Colin, it's worth looking up to you. Granted, you see the sprite work on enemies better, but I was using a guide to walk through.
It's a lot more colorful.
Yeah, well, that's just upgrade
yeah.
hardware.
Yeah.
But like when using a guide to walk through, it's actually pretty helpful because you can see the whole area on the NES. And then you're like, oh, okay, I just have to go there. I just can't fucking see it. So, good game. I mean, you have a little simpler of a HUD too, but also the HUD takes up way too much room, I think. But yeah, the screen crop, like, you know, you see that and then you go right to here.
I thought everything in Crystalis was very intuitive.
Yeah.
Everything you need to do, you go to town, you get the things, you have your quest that you're told what to do, you go do the thing, right? I didn't have to wander aimlessly to find out what I needed to do. There wasn't a lot of cryptic information of what to find, where to find, right?
Right.
I really appreciate
I actually had a bit of an obtuse moment right near the end of my playthrough, because I played the first hour. I got to like the forest area with the gas mask.
Right.
But then after that point, I couldn't figure out where to go or what to do. I kept running into dead ends in the forests, and then when you went to like the village that's in the north end of it, the only thing any of the villagers say is, go in peace. It's like, I had no clue what to do from there on out. I had to look up a guide to find out I had to go north in the overworld to another guy who could give me like a language translation of some kind. So that got a bit frustrating for me, but didn't kill the experience.
Oh. I probably... What I usually do is anytime people start saying the same things in RPGs, especially back then, you just have to go to another town.
Right.
That's kind of like the unspoken rule about it.
As an adult, don't have that time.
Well,
yeah, pretty much.
But as an adult now and less time, if I get stuck for more than 5 minutes,
Our guide.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta look this up. I don't got time to screw around with this. As a kid,
Exactly.
I wouldn't question it. Plus, there was no internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Spoiled.
Did either of you keep hearing the sound effect for when Mario fires his fireballs in Super Mario Bros? I kept hearing that whenever making menu choices in this game.
The Game Boy one's different, so I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
But no, I think you might just be taking all those Kingdom Hearts drugs.
But I think Crystalis is a must-have game. I do not regret picking this. I'm very shocked on how much I love this game. It's an easy pass. The overworld is very enjoyable, very detailed. For the NES, I mean, when did this game come out again?
Oof.
1990.
Yeah.
Like, that's
pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive for the NES of all things.
No sequel. Damn it, me. No sequels, though.
Yeah, surprisingly enough. So it must not have sold very well, or it was in the background of like Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy of the time, just like Ys was, right?
Right. I'm trying to see people's like reactions in their comments since I said like no sequel.
Yeah. Is this on the Nintendo shop yet? Or the NES online?
So. Let me see. I don't believe so.
Switch Online?
Yeah.
Because I could totally see Crystalis coming to Switch Online in time. Like, it's just one of those games, right?
Negative.
Yeah,
I give it a pass.
I give it a pass as well.
Pass. I think they're more focused on Star Tropics, which nobody picked, but we did.
No, we've done Star Tropics before.
We've done that one.
Oh, so technically it's on the Switch.
Action games.
So technically,
there for that one.
Yeah, technically it's on the Switch if you buy the SNK Anniversary Collection. So technically it's on Switch.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the Game Boy Color version.
No, it's not. I know that for a fact, actually. See, nope, that's the NES one. So you can get it on Switch if you buy the SNK thing.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. So our last game is the sixth game, my pick. Could you go back to the agenda,
Absolutely
please?
not.
Yeah. And it's called Neutopia.
I thought it was Neutopia.
Well, I'm pronouncing it like I would German. Neutopia.
That's propaganda. Got it.
Because NEU, Neu, in German is new. Topia.
Ah, yeah.
City.
You get it? City. So new city kind of deal. Anyways, came on the Crystalis is about $20 on the NES. I think that's worth it. I think it's a good price for it.
Game Boy one was like 10.
Neutopia came out. TurboGrafx 16. Developed and published by Hudson Soft. Yes. So our third Hudson Soft game.
TurboGrafx.
We each picked a Hudson Soft published game.
My bad.
So, action RPG is kind of their thing, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't want to be the turn-based, like a lot of other companies were doing at the time. It was released November 17th, 1989. So we all also kind of got within this 3-year gap kind of deal, right?
Yep.
With the exception of Diablo, which came out way later.
Right.
And Kingdom Hearts.
No, we don't talk about Kingdom Hearts anymore.
No, we're done with that. Doesn't exist.
So this game was very much like Ys in its premise, right? Evil Dearth has stolen Princess Aurora, and you, Jazetta, must save her. Okay? Oh, and Dearth also took the land's mystical medallions and put them in crypts.
Because reasons.
So just like the books or keys or whatever you want to call it.
Crystals of light.
4 crystals of light. whatever. They're scattered around. Evil guy put them there with reasons. With bosses.
Why didn't he take them?
Why didn't he just keep them himself?
So Zelda, basically.
It's very Zelda-like, with the Ys kind of premise of you go off to this island that's been sunk into the sea or it's been isolated in some way. So it's a mix between and yeah. So it's got the Ys story with the Zelda mechanics to it. But is it different enough from Legend of Zelda to stand out on its own?
No.
Not really, but it does a couple things I like way more. And number one is the compass item that you get. It always points you in the direction of the next crypt that you have to go. Other than that, it's exactly like Legend of Zelda for the TurboGrafx.
Every system had a Zelda clone. Like
Genesis
did their Crusader of Senti. This did this.
Right. But Neutopia, it does have a sequel, which I've never played. I've always wanted to see what the big deal is, right? And I think the game holds up quite well. If you like Zelda, you should like this one. There's no reason not to.
Right.
I don't see... this is what I don't agree with games that are clones, let's say. Where, it's just copying. Well, is it good? Do you like it? Well, it's a copy. That means it's shit. No.
Nope. There's a lot of clones that are better than the real game. A lot of them.
And I'm not saying this is better than Legend of Zelda, but I had a lot of fun with it. I like the compass always directing me much better than anything Zelda ever did.
Right.
You know, how am I supposed to know I'm supposed to go up a mountain 4 times and turn left?
By Nintendo power.
Right. You didn't need that with Neutopia here.
Yeah, Johnny Turbo's magazine.
I thought the story was better because it actually tried to tell something, right? It had that anime feel. That's another +1. So I had more fun with this one than I thought I was going to.
Right.
It didn't impress me a lot compared to, say, Crystalis or Ys because this is a clone, right?
Yeah.
It gets docked points for its unoriginality. But for what the game brought, where you go into the crypts, unlock doors, bomb items, face all the enemies in a room, go to the next room, face the boss, move on.
Right.
Right? It's exactly like Zelda. I enjoyed it.
Word.
Yeah, there's one thing I did like about this game, that when you get superior versions of certain items, like armor, you automatically equip them.
Very nice.
Save some of the hassle of doing it yourself. Which is more than I can say about Ys, but that's a small complaint. And I found there's more of a clear path and direction to take to get to the dungeons if you talk to all the people.
Absolutely.
Those are straight up.
That's all another improvement over the original Zelda. Although when you die in the dungeon, you don't go back to the beginning of said dungeon. You instead get dropped off at the last save point outside the dungeon, which I think is baloney. But
there was a lot. It's a very good Zelda clone, but I didn't get to dabble with it too much. But what I've seen when I played if I had Turbo Graphics and I was into Zelda, I guess this is the thing I'd pick up. But
Oh, exactly. If you were a Turbo Graphics guy and you didn't have a Nintendo,
right.
like you would not be disappointed in this game.
But that being said,
Yeah, true.
am I going to go out and run it if I was me? And I had money, I should probably add that. Am I going to go out of my way to get a Turbo Graphics for this game? Probably not. I need a little more than that.
I mean, the game is kind of on the more expensive side. It runs about $60, $40 if you're lucky.
What? In your notes, just as a question, breaking the fourth wall, you have 622 Y.
You were pressing buttons on your thing.
That would explain it. So it's $62 ish.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'm stupid.
Yeah, I saw you pressing buttons on your thing, and that's where the cursor was.
All right, noted.
I watched the end of a long play on YouTube. There's a funny bit after you beat the final boss. The princess comes out. One of the things she says is, "My love is forever yours. Take me now and never let go."
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Jeez, even ghosts and goblins would tell this princess to cool her jets.
Oh my god, you're smothering me. I don't want to save you anymore.
I think we should just be friends.
It's like, whoa, I'm gay. That would be funny.
Plot twist. I'm just doing it because I care about you. Like, not everything you do is...
I did. It's like, hold on, I did it for your father. He's hot.
Oh boy.
Swag. All right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm going to pass Neutopia. And I'm very curious to see what the sequel's like. Because I've heard it's better. They got more original with it.
Right.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. This game didn't really catch my interest all that much. I'm actually going to have to give it a soft fail.
Ooh.
Ooh, tough break, Jesus.
I mean, it does some things well. It just doesn't really... I don't see myself going back to it.
Deal.
What about you, Mr. Kevin?
Soft pass.
Soft pass?
Just again, I have Zelda. It's pretty much a Zelda game. I'm not going to be upset if I don't play it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's a good game. I got nothing bad to say about it.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I'm going for.
I know what you mean.
You're passing it, obviously.
I already said so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there.
All right. So our 6 games that we went over for this cast over action RPGs is you don't have the
my back's killing me.
you don't have the scroll option. What am I doing?
I got it. All right, I'll read for you.
All right, you read.
Do you need help?
This is your computer. I don't know how it works.
Like any other computer. We did East, or what was the German letter?
Epsilon.
Ypsilon 1 and 2.
Epsilon eins und zwei.
Kingdom Hearts, Faxanadu, Diablo, Crystalis, and Neutopia. Favorite and least favorite? I'll take the Kingdom Hearts. Fuck you, least favorite. And my favorite.
Oh.
Yeah, well, dicks. My favorite is probably going to be Crystalis. I really like that game. Only flaw being my own fault. I played the Game Boy version, but that was a really, really good action RPG. So, yeah, you.
All right, I'll go next. Surprisingly enough, my least favorite is Diablo. I don't think it's the worst game on the list, but it's
Didn't
definitely
you pass that?
No.
I thought you passed Diablo.
No, I didn't.
Can you just make it Kingdom Hearts for me?
Whispered in my ear nicely. Come on, do it. Do it.
Kingdom Hearts sucks.
All right, so my least favorite is Kingdom Hearts.
Deal.
Boo.
Conspiracy.
I feel attacked.
And my favorite is... Oh, man, this is a very tough favorite.
I know you're going to pick Neutopia.
No.
Really?
I'm not picking Neutopia, and I'm not picking Crystalis. I'm picking East 1 and 2.
Gasp.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just really felt the most invested in it, and I want to play more of the sequels now, because even though I have played like East 7, Origin, and Calcutta, I've only dabbled in them, really, right?
Right.
And I'm much more interested... If Crystalis had sequels, I might have picked Crystalis. Right? Maybe there's
weird justification, but okay.
Well, no. I mean, I got so invested, I want to finish the game, right? And then I want to play more of the games, which they exist.
Why don't you just play it on Game Boy and play it in hard mode?
Why would I do that?
I don't know. You hate yourself.
I don't want to do that.
Oh. Swag.
So, yeah, East 1 and 2. Colin.
Well, Favorite? Surprised to probably no one.
Boo!
Eat me.
That's probably in your fanfic. Mickey took me on the bed and I whispered, "Eat me."
Oh my!
Went to the Tarzan world and I wanted him to be a wild man.
I sat there and I wondered, has Tarzan been clapping gorilla cheeks, or has he just been waiting?
We've
for
been
me
really
this whole
hard.
time?
We've been really harsh today.
I'm sorry.
Thing is, I actually am writing a fanfic, but it's a One Piece crossover
With
no
Kingdom-
sex.
With Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Here's the thing: you start it with no sex, it becomes sexy.
Just watch me, pal.
What was your least favorite?
Well, I want to quickly mention a very close second is Ys 1 and 2.
Ooh, okay.
Fair.
And least favorite, Faxanadu.
That's fair.
Just found it the most frustrating.
It's funny, we came across a lot of Zelda and Zelda 2 clones.
It was the time where action RPGs are just like, what do we look at? And someone goes, Zelda? And we're like,
Is that Zelda game?
let's play that Zelda game. I like Zelda. He's got a green shirt.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was episode 44, Action RPGs of the Red Leaf Retrocast. If you want to hit up a retro gaming community that we're a part of, I recommend Retro Twitch, which you can join via Twitter, twitter.com/RetroTwitchCom, COM at the end there. Click the link, join, fun community. Lots of European fellows there.
Oi, governor.
So you get you get the big Euro vibe, and then naturally we're a part of the Anime Radicals podcast, a big conglomeration of anime podcasts, all coming together under one umbrella.
We're all friends here.
We're all friends.
We're all friends.
I still like you, Colin. It's fine.
Huh.
I can't be mad at Canadians. They're nice. They're nice people.
Die, America.
We're polite. We're not always nice.
All right, fine.
Oi, sorry I bumped into you,
No, it's sorry.
I don't know how sorry you are. How sincere are
Maybe
you?
you've were in my fucking way. I just went Irish.
You just went Irish.
Yeah, whatever.
You could say you're from not Saskatchewan. Shit.
Saskatchewan.
Not Nova Scotia either. Newfoundland. There we go.
Newfoundland.
I was gonna get the right province eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So, all right, we
That's
did
where
it.
the true abooting comes from.
A boot.
A boot. So we did it, and Colin, you have the next theme pick. No, Kevin, you did.
I have
this was Colin's pick.
Yeah, you
Kevin, you have
yeah.
the next theme.
He's
pick.
gonna pick like Rechain of Memories if you do that. How fucking dare you?
That's not old enough.
Rechain
old.
358/2
not old
now with more oil.
So what's your next? What's the next theme pick? You can hint at the audience here.
I'm just gonna
Or just
say
tell 'em.
the theme pick is This Is That Game, which sounds really weird, but it's a fancy way of saying like
This is in that series.
this is in that series. Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
It's almost like
Yeah,
spin-offs.
It's almost like spin-offs, but like spin-offs that like fucking how. For example, I'm gonna give one of mine away.
Okay.
Kid Dracula. I had no fucking idea that was a Castlevania game until Konami was just like, yeah, it is.
It's part of the Castlevania.
Why is
universe.
it? I don't know. It has no art style, no real reference. It's just like, it's a Castlevania game. Fight us.
I feel like we can call it like crazy spin-offs or something.
Yeah, so I got to, and actually, what was weird is the really big way I learned that it was a Castlevania game. It was in the Castlevania collection that just came out, and I was like, I feel like that was just a Castlevania game we said it was, and people were just accepting. Konami was probably like, yeah, okay,
I agree.
sure. Dracula's in Castlevania.
I love the originality of the theme pick.
Yeah, I got
we
crazy.
we could call it unknown spin-offs.
We could.
We could.
We can
Just
go
a
with unknown
suggestion.
spin-offs.
Kind of like the unknown horror games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do
Not
that.
not one of our most popular downloaded episodes,
Listen,
unfortunately.
those guys are dicks anyway.
All right. So this was
Don't go
episode
insult the
44.
audience.
Red
You can
Leaf
insult me all you
Retrocast.
want, but don't insult the audience.
They like Kingdom Hearts too. Fuck them.
Oh,
We'll
jeez.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.